Thank you all so much for joining me, and thank you all for joining us. Hello and welcome to Penguin Live, where you have the best seat in the house for the best magic in the world. I'm your host, Eric Tate, and joining us this week is a performer who hails to us from the islands of Hawaii, where he performs in some of the highest-end resorts for tourists from all over the world. Now, his peers widely consider him to be one of the modern masters of coin magic, one of the most influential coin magicians living today, and he has creative routines and techniques that have sparked revolutions in sleight of hand. Please join me in welcoming Curtis Cam. Curtis!
Oh! Well!
Curtis, I am so excited to have you back.
Well, thank you very much. Good to have you here, Eric, and thank you very much for inviting me. I am here on a mission, and part of this comes back from something that was said back in the 70s.
Okay.
And that was Dave Bendix, I think, was the first person to write it down in one of John Rockerbaumer's magazines. And he said that card magic is to coin magic like playing poker is to flipping a coin. And there's been this rap against coin magic that it's it's too simple. There's not a lot of plots that you can engage in. There's not a lot that you can accomplish with it. Larry Jennings has very famously said to people that the coin is either here or it's not, and that's all there is to coin magic. It should be noted, though, that as he said that, Larry went on to create some of the most interesting coin magic that we've seen. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of the stuff that we do today is because Larry Jennings did it, including the shell coins across, some of the moves that Gary Kurtz even used in some of his more elaborate coin work. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of dodges in the classic magic of Larry Jennings. Mm-hmm. There's a routine in there that reverses the roles and has the spectator act as the magician, mm-hmm. while you do copper-silver transposition. And it's all done as an excuse so that when the spectator opens his hand, you can grab that gimmick coin out of his hand. And it's really clever, very sophisticated stuff. So Larry, he recognized some of the limitations that might have been at the time in coin magic and went on to make it really interesting. And a lot of people just stop at his quote because that means they can stop thinking. And mm-hmm. what I'm here to do today and what I did in the show the other night was to show people what other things are possible with coins.
It was really fascinating watching the show because I've been a fan of yours for a long time. I mean, the Palms of Steel series really opened my eyes up to like how cool coin magic can be as a self-professed card nerd. And watching some of the routines last night was just made me want to pick up a set of coins again.
Good.
Because it was so fascinating. And there's a thing that you did, the math thing with the lawyer, which they're going to learn later, has kept me up all night. I'm irritated at how good that was. And I'm even more frustrated because we had two shows. And so the first time it fooled me, and the second time I watched you like a hawk. But please, I got my notebook ready and take us through it because I'm so excited.
All right. So this was not what we did, and what we're going to do today mm-hmm. was not what I would do for a professional show.
Yeah.
You know, it was done with this overt purpose of showing people what else there is beyond coin magic, beyond coins across mm-hmm. and coins through the table and the copper-silver transposition and hopping half. So managed to say that without...
I was listening to the pain in your voice.
I'm trying not to swear. Yeah. And so it was just one coin trick after another. Mm-hmm. And I tried to make it as interesting as possible and as much of a show as I could. But it was done for that purpose. So
it was even though it was done for this purpose, and as we cut to see the live performances, it was still varied and textured, and it didn't feel like a coin show.
Yeah.
It felt like a magic show.
Right.
And I guess we're going to take a look at the first one?
Yeah.
What was the first one called?
It doesn't have a name. It was the ideal opener for this kind of show because it was immediately something they hadn't seen before.
Yes.
And it set the tone for what was going to happen.
Well, let's take a look at a live performance.
All right.
when you're down, when you're strange. Faces come out of the rain when you're strange. No one remembers your name when you're strange. When you're strange, when you're strange. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. Alright, yeah.
Ernest, this was fun. I was very happy that Mark Calabrese left a knife for you to perform this.
Yeah, the switchblade is not obviously technically necessary.
Yeah.
But it's definitely part of the image.
Yeah.
And it definitely does not get into carry-on luggage.
Yes.
So it was nice of Mark to leave us a switchblade to use. This is part of this lecture, and a lot of coin magic lectures are like this. Mm-hmm. This is the beginning of a scavenger hunt. Mm-hmm. This is partially stuff that you don't own and you may find difficult to buy. And this, in particular, this routine starts with a large silver ball. Mm-hmm. And you can feel that. That's a hollow silver ball.
Yeah, this is very light.
And I got that from a place called Tokyo Hands in Japan. And they are just this enormous store full of things that have no definite purpose. It's like Michael's, run by creative people, mm-hmm. and 6 stories high.
Wow.
And every floor is something else. Leather workers and knitting and crochet and model builders. Mm-hmm. And I think they have a magic section that's specifically magic. Mm-hmm. They have some of the Tenyo products and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But mostly it's stuff that magicians who like to build stuff want to use. Mm-hmm. And they had just an entire wall of different sized hollow silver balls. And this one's the biggest. Now, you don't have to have this, mm-hmm. and you don't have to have this size.
Yeah.
But for me, because I do a little bit of contact juggling, mm-hmm. this was the right size for me. Mm-hmm. So the idea was to start with something that showed them something they had never seen before, and yet the best way to do that generally is to show them something they have seen before, mm-hmm. in a different context. So everybody has sliced pieces off a big block of cheese.
Yeah.
Or sliced up an apple. So that's what I'm doing. Those are the actions that I'm referencing, mm-hmm. To produce coins. Okay?
That's great.
So the deal is that you show them the ball, mm-hmm. and do whatever contact juggling or whatever to display the ball that you are able to do. Mm-hmm. And some of the contact juggling is just marvelous stuff. It looks very magical. Yeah. It's a great opener for a magic effect, first of all. Some of it does look like magic. I mean, there's these levitation moves for the ball that look really good. I then dump out the knife, mm-hmm. and that's done so that everybody looks here while I steal the coins. Because the coins are hanging on the backside of the bag.
What?
Okay, they're stuck on the outside here.
How is that?
And this is going to be, okay, the subtext of this is things that you really ought to be doing with the Amar clip. Because inside this bag is one of Amar's coin clips.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's a little dark from age. Usually when you get them, they're white. Mm-hmm. This one's been with me a long time. But if you take one of these and put it inside a bag or something, mm-hmm. and press the coins against it,
just holds in there by friction?
That's its job, right? That's what That's what it does.
That's amazing.
And it works through through a cloth. Now, this is probably the most useful thing in the lecture. If you want a coin dropper inside your jacket, you put it in your pocket, and through the lining of your coat, the coins just stay there. Oops. Take a little bit more care than I just did.
Yeah.
And the coins will stay there until you need them. Now, you wouldn't put, I did that just because that's what the camera can see. But you'd want it a little closer to the edge of your coat.
Yeah.
But they just stay in there. And then anytime you want them, you go under here and just pull on them, they come out.
So that's an Amarr coin clip.
Yep.
I'm sure if you're watching this and you want to get a hold of one of those, you just search Amarr coin clip on Penguin Magic, and I'm sure they'll come up. Or
I would hope.
Yeah.
I think that Penguin's got them. Sean Farquhar makes them now. He's got the Palmer Magic line.
Yeah. Then So if it's not on Penguin, search for Sean Farquhar's Palmer Magic, and you'll be able to get a hold of an Amarr coin clip. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. I'm surprised.
They're really good.
Yeah.
These are really useful. One of my favorite we should probably do a project on this, but one of my favorite applications is not going through here using it as a coin clip, but to put it up your sleeve. And it's not going to work with this jacket. It's a little bit thick.
Yeah.
But the clip goes up your sleeve like this, with coins loaded, and the two prongs stick up here.
Yeah.
And you stick one coin here on the outside.
Ooh.
And what that does is it holds it there. Okay. So you can do this, and they can see there's nothing in your sleeves, and you show your hands empty, and you reach over here, and you produce a coin. And then you drop your arm, and this coin clip drops into your hand and silently delivers all the other coins.
He's giving us all kinds of bonus material today. That's awesome.
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite things. Yeah. Very useful, $50 size, comes in $50 size, or silver dollar size. There's some other applications, but that's not in this routine.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. This goes in here. The coins go on the outside. The knife goes on the inside. And this is much too big to produce magically, but you don't have to. I've found that if you just cover it with a handkerchief or just have it in one of these Crown Royal bags and just squeeze the ball up, everyone's going to look at it as if you had produced it.
Yeah.
Right? And so then that's the deal. You drop out the knife, steal the coins, and then raise this up, and that gets the attention here.
Yeah.
Right? So now we've got coins in finger palm, and we need to produce them as we cut.
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing you do is just as a matter of flourish and presentation, you bring the blade in and tap the ball and grip it a second, and that's so you can move one of the coins up like this. And it's probably better if I stand for this so you can see this side.
And I'll sit back here.
Like this. And all I'm going to do, it turns out, see, there's not a whole lot of published technique on how to carve coins off a silver ball, but you just throw them out. It turns out you can just toss those coins. Come on. It turns out you can just toss the coins out. So you're here. Right now they're in finger palm. When I contact like this and look like I'm carving off a coin, it gives me enough room to take my hand away from the knife and shove a coin up like this. So there's the motion here, and there's the coin appearing.
So as the knife comes away, you're just throwing the
Throwing
coin
it out.
and then re-gripping the knife, just squeezing the knife back down with
Right. Yeah. So then that covers your angles and everything. It does its magic wand thing. Your hand looks relatively empty. You come back here, tap again, prep the next coin, slice it off, and the coin drops over here like that.
That looks so good.
It does look good, right? And then there it is there. And I think mostly it's because that's what we expect to see, right?
Yeah.
A cut and a drop, and so they're going to, if you can show them what they expect to see, in a new context, it'll work. So
Yeah.
that's the last one, just for variation's sake. You look like you're cutting off a slice off an apple, and the coin is here, and you bring it up behind the blade. I'll show you from the back side, I guess. Just like that. And so it's right here. It looks like you're just coming up here, and then you move the switchblade, and slowly push the coin up. And it looks like it's coming out of there. Drop it off, shut the knife, and that's your production.
That's
So, are there any questions about that?
I like this, and I can see people doing this with like a butter knife and something else.
Sure.
Just like anything sort of like vaguely roundish in their hand and some kind of like knife. It's a great production.
Or not even round. I mean, if you
Yeah.
opened your show and just lifted off a handkerchief,
Yeah.
and there was a silver cube sitting there on the table.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Right? And if it was a silver cube and on your side there was a corner missing,
Yeah.
you turned around, you did the cut, and then you just twisted the cube, then it looks like there's a piece missing, and then now it's there, right?
Sort of like pop art magic.
Yeah, right.
It's,
And in general, you can generalize the idea. Anything that produces a coin would be interesting. Like the other day I was thinking about gumball machines. How you put a coin into a gumball machine, you get a gumball.
yeah.
Suppose you had a gumball machine and you produced a gumball and put it into the gumball machine. You turn the crank and a coin comes out. And now you've got the coins for your,
Yeah.
you know. So you can take something from your life and turn it, mold it into
Yeah.
just a coin production.
Yeah. That's great.
I will return your Mark's knife to you.
Thank you very much. This will go back into our trophy case with more meaning.
Yes.
So, thanks. So is that all there is on this, or are we going to move on to the
I
next
think that's it, unless anyone has any questions.
It was very clear to me.
Yeah.
What was the next piece?
The next piece is a coins across.
Well, let's take a look at a live performance.
How many people, just by a round of applause, have ever seen a live magic show before? Yeah. And you saw our friends outside, and they may have actually done some coin tricks for you or card tricks for you. No cards, not doing any cards tonight. And the coin magic that I'm going to do is just a little bit different. And that's sort of the whole point. Now, there's a very common, very traditional classic coin trick where the magician takes 1, 2, 3 coins into one hand, no coins in the other, forms 2 fists, and magically invisibly causes the coins to travel from this hand to this hand. Have you ever seen that before? Yeah, we're not doing that one. But at the beginning of the pandemic, I thought it's a good chance to try and let's revisit that one. And I discovered that I had a ring that could actually be used for that, if you can get it off your thumb. Wow. Okay, so here's the idea. There's an empty space right in the center of the ring. And that actually can do the job. Now, it's a little bit different for each coin. The next one, watch, there's the ring. There's the coin. There's what we'll call the other coin. And I'm not sure which one, but eventually, when the ring comes back out, it looks like just the ring. And yet, now, the last one is either the job is to get the ring to suck up the coin, or maybe to drop the coin into the ring. And if you hear this, you know that's happened. But my favorite part is when you see this, you know this has happened. And
Curtis, I really like the addition of rings to Coins Across, and I really like this one where the coin is like, it's almost like acting as a portal. It's really fun.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I can say that with all modesty because it's not my idea. If you look at Scotty York's lecture notes, Scotty used a ring in the Coins Across phase of what eventually became Goldfinger, his famous routine where everything turned to gold.
Yeah.
And and it was a great idea, and I hadn't seen anybody else use it, and I wanted to get it in there. So this was actually, I tell the truth to the audience. You heard it in the presentation. At the beginning of the pandemic, I said, look, this is a good opportunity to go back and revisit some things. And one of the things I wanted to revisit was Coins Across, and one of the things I wanted to add was the Scotty York ring thing. So that's what I did, and although this is all supposed to be a response to all coin magic is the same, and I am starting with Coins Across, which is the picture of all being the same. It's a different Coins Across. So that's my excuse. So anyway, here it is. You place the coins in your hand. One of the things I wanted for this Coins Across was that all the coins do start in my left hand.
Yeah.
You know, because almost every Coins Across we'll toss them all across and I'll steal as many as I can before I start. So I wanted that clean, right? And so that's the joke where you say, look, you've seen that already, right? And because we're going to cover this steal, you call attention to the ring. And we're going to do a Ross Bertram steal just by clipping this coin here. All right, so Ross Bertram had one. The Bertram steal is this: as you're putting the coins in your hand, as you put the last coin in, you steal this coin. And that's fine. But it turns out you can do that as you come and get the ring off your thumb. Now, you need a ring on your thumb, first of all, so that's not everybody. But you can take just a large silver ring, maybe not even a finger ring, and just hang it on your thumb from the beginning of this, and then do the routine. Yeah. Right. So, but if you do, and I do recommend having one of these for lots of coin reasons, there it is. So we're going to steal this coin, and the coins can be spread this way, where the most coin is toward you, or the other way, where this is the lowermost coin, whatever you think is looks more secure. And your attention is here, and all you're going to do is reach over and grab this ring. But as you do that, your little finger goes underneath that coin, your third finger goes on top, and then this hand turns to bring the ring to this hand. All right? And what I've done now is I've clipped the coin there and rotate it into a finger palm.
Oh, that just drops right into finger palm.
It does, yes. And that is a function of the back pinch. That's where the coin generally goes. Oh, okay. If you do that retrieval. And that's done by you grab the coin with your third finger, your second finger, and then your third finger just kind of comes out and gets out of the way.
That's cool.
It's just a smaller version of what we used to do with the full back palm.
Yeah.
Right? You move the fingers out of the way. So anyway, you're here. This is a pretty good position. They can see that. They can see your palm is empty. And yet, and this is going to take a little bit of practice to get the timing right. If you drop the coin out of the finger palm as you do that, it looks like the coin comes out of the ring. And you can you drop the coin like this, and you set the ring on top of it. That looks pretty good. You open this hand, and you keep these coins together so that you have a reason to put this ring down and pick up these two coins and show them, right? Because it's better to motivate the handling. And now we're going to do something which people seem to be allergic to. We're going to do the pop-up move. We'll just say it right now. But I'm gonna make it look like part of the presentation. So I bring the ring up to the top of my fist, and this is from the Scotty York routine. The coin goes into your hand. The second coin goes into your hand, and it goes into pop-up position, which is essentially here, sort of pressed by my thumb against the side of my index finger, and my first finger comes around and presses against the edge of the coin. That's so that I can push against the edge of the coin, and the Coin comes up like that and sits. I can't show it to you. Comes up like that and sits on top of your hand like that.
Okay.
Okay. Because this coin is going to start here, and it's sitting on my second side of my second finger. And as I come over like this, I'm going to simply sort of edge grip this coin and bring that one out. And up to speed, it looks like that, or like that.
I've always had problems with the pop-up move, and one thing that I'm just noticing you doing right now is that as you come over, it almost looks like you're using your hand to pat the coin onto place. Is that what makes it look so good? Because I've always had issues getting that coin flat on my hand, which is why I'm afraid of it.
Yeah, it's a consideration for this kind of performing situation, and especially with you there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be a little more conservative with my angles. If you're just doing a camera head on like this, you can actually just clip the coin like that.
Okay.
And you get this nice retention of vision.
Yeah.
Where you can see the coin dropping there.
And even then, with you're almost pressing as it comes out, your finger is pressing onto it, and so it's when you're doing the pop-up move, don't rely entirely on the left hand. Like let the right hand sort of like help move the coin into position.
And part of that is just the matter of the degree of stickiness of your hands to the coins.
Oh, okay.
Because if you've got really dry hands, the coin naturally goes up and just drops like that.
Oh.
But it's sticking to my hand a little bit, so I am pushing it down.
Oh, that's great. That looks really awesome.
So anyway, that's it. I don't mind the pop-up move. I kind of like it. But anyway, it works really well in this context because you've popped up that coin. You've got this coin in palm. You've got all the time in the world as you make them watch this, and it looks like one of the coins is being absorbed by the ring, and then you bring the ring back out till it's here. And they see the ring again. You classic palm this coin, pick this one up, and we're going to show this coin. This one will be concealed in the Mellini-Vernon cap's subtlety, just to allow us to drop this ring here. And now you let the coin drop out of palm, open your hand, and you can see that it looks like another coin has traveled. You pick up the ring and drop that coin, so they can make it very clear there's two. And open this hand, they can see just one. We're going to set up the next move, which is the last move in this routine. And it's to do this. You take the ring in this position and drop it on top of the coin. Open your hand, and nothing has happened. So now maybe what I should do is drop the coin on the ring. And this is a move that does a click pass and steals both the coin and the ring. And one day at a magic convention, Eric Jones introduces me to a magician. He goes, "This is a friend of mine. He's got a coin move you got to see." And the guy did this move for me.
Yeah.
And I never saw him again. And Eric and I can't remember who the guy is. So I would give you the credits for this. I give him full credit for this, but I just can't tell you his name. And
if you're watching this,
and
it's you.
Yeah, it was Tom.
Reach out to us. Oh, that's funny.
So here's the move, and it's just brilliant. Okay, you're holding the coin in, I guess, what should be known, I think, as Tenkai vanish position, because there's Tenkai's had a vanish of a coin that went like that, and it gets a great burn. And he just dropped the coin in there like that. Actually, he would start like this and then drop it like that. So that's what we're going to do, except what we're also going to do is press against the ring, with your third finger. And what happens is the ring levers up and goes on your third finger. And then the coin drops, you hear the clink, and now you've got them both.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's just a lovely thing. And it's audibly right, it's visually right.
Yeah.
If you get the angles right. And so that's what you do. Now, the ring is in this wonderful concealment position. So I classic palm the coin. I classic palm the coin and pick up these two coins. All right. So now you can do the classic sound effect, and you can display it like this. And the ring is still there.
Oh, I thought you had the ring hidden underneath. I had no idea how you get the ring underneath the coins, and I thought it was hiding underneath the coins.
Yeah.
And that is nuts.
You're right. It does not have to go anywhere from where it is, right? And it doesn't stick out that much. The angles aren't bad, right? It's not like back palming a dollar. And you simply curl your hand back in, and again, just like you retrieve the coin, you retrieve the ring. And now when you open your hand, the ring is on top of the stack. And there you are.
That's great.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you, our unnamed magician.
Yeah.
I should tell you that Tom Dobrowski and I, and some friends of ours, created a electronic magazine at the beginning of the pandemic, and we started publishing the work that we were doing during the pandemic, including this routine.
Yeah.
And throughout the routine, throughout the magazine, this routine, the next routine I'm going to talk about, and then a finale version of it, all appeared throughout the first year. The first year is now in this book.
Oh, cool.
The magazine, e-magazine, is called The Disclaimer.
Yeah.
If you want this description in writing,
Yeah.
with marvelous illustrations by Jeremiah Zoe, it's in here.
Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah. So
That's my commercial
check it
plug.
out.
Check it out. We have a few copies of the end of the year book available. The original e-magazine issues are not available anymore.
I think I'm actually a subscriber to
Are
the
you
magazine.
really? Okay,
I'm pretty sure that I was a subscriber, and if it's what I'm thinking, I don't know. I subscribed to a lot of magazines during the pandemic, but I'm pretty sure that I read it and I really enjoyed a lot of what was in there.
Oh, good.
If not, I'm remembering somebody else's and giving you credit for them, which I think is fun. No, but yeah, it's fantastic. And Jeremiah's illustrations are really lovely.
Yeah, and fun.
Yeah, so good.
So
It's a great routine.
here's the deal. So it gets weirder from here, and that's really the point of the act, point of the routine. And I tell people that when I say, look, that was the beginning of the pandemic, and then things got strange. And what you do is you take this ring and you put it in your pocket, and you use that opportunity to steal a little ball bearing. And are we going to show this part, or did we?
Yeah, let's take a look at a live performance, and then we'll get into this is one of my favorite routines from the entire lecture. Let's take a look.
I'll make this simpler, because that was from the beginning of the lockdowns. You know, we're all in our homes going, I don't know how long this is going to be. And then about 3 months later, we began to realize how long it was going to be. And it got stranger. This whole thing got stranger. So again, with the 3 coins, but I started showing people what was going on in my head. Would you like to see what's going on in my head when that happens? All right. I appreciate your enthusiasm. Again, 3 coins, no coins, watch. The idea is to get them to go across. What you do is visualize it. And if you can visualize something moving across from one hand to the other, then it'll happen. You see, that's the Tony Robbins said so. So that's 2 over here like this. Watch the next one, or listen for the next one, and you'll see. There it is there. And that's 2, and that's the last one. This is your last chance to see as the coin begins to, and that's how they come across.
So we did the show last night, Curtis.
Yeah.
And then I woke up this morning and I told my partner, I said, Curtis did the coolest thing where he turned coins into little ball bearings and rolled them across the table. And she was like, he rolls a ball across the table, and I was like, you just have to see it. It's so cool. This is one of the most creative coin routines I've ever seen. And I'm not blowing smoke at you. I genuinely love this. Please teach it to us.
I have been very gratified with how much people seem to like this.
Yeah.
And it was really popular on Instagram and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It is. We've gotten feedback from the Disclaimer people.
Yeah.
Our contributors. They've liked it too. I have to tell you that old timers recognize it as a adaptation of an old routine from Jay Sankey.
We talked about this last
Yeah.
night. Yeah. And
Jay had this routine where you had 3 coins in your left hand, and you had a magic wand that went between your 2 hands, and then a coin would go across. And then he'd say, look, I'll show you how it works. And he took a glass tube, and put it here, and then the coin would be like all rolled up inside the glass tube. It would slide from hand to hand, and then you would see the rolled up coin here, and he would slap it on the table, and it becomes a real coin. So that was that routine. The adaptation here is, first of all, to a sphere instead of the rolled up coins, and second of all, I think it's important to not show the ball very much.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't, you see it less, more and more as the routine goes on, but you don't see it like here is a ball and now it's a coin.
It's an interesting point of self-control that makes the ball more mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's that feeling that what did I just see? And that's only possible if they don't see it very much. And so that's the theatrical structure of the routine. There's a really nice technical thing that I've added here that I've discovered as I was doing this. So if you recall, we have a ball bearing in our palm in the right hand as you come out. And Tom, do you remember the exact size of these? 3/4 or?
3/4.
Yeah.
3/4 of an inch?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's here. And what we're going to do is we're going to switch the coin for the ball for the coin.
And I just want to just touch on this. What is the grip here that you're doing? Are you just pinching it between the fingers, and it's just the flesh of the base of the fingers is what's keeping it in there with friction?
Yeah, this is like the oldest palm known to man. It's one of the, in the very early texts where they describe how to do cups and balls, this is the palm, okay? And it's just pinched there. Alan Okawa from Hawaii also has this wonderful routine using seashells, and the seashells get palmed right there very naturally.
Gotcha.
So this is good if you have enough moisture in your hand, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I have it. It really, I just have it there so I can open my hand out flat. If you're not going to be talking as much as I am now, yeah, you could just finger palm it. And as a matter of fact, the release is probably a little more surefire if you're finger palming it instead of that. So here's the deal: we're going to swap it for one of the coins, and we're going to do what you would probably call a Bobo switch, but I've got this whole rant about the Bobo switch, but don't worry about it. So yeah, you grab the first coin. We're going to toss it over here. Yeah. The second coin goes on top of the first coin, so it's sitting there like that. And as I pick up the third coin and get it ready for the switch, this accidentally drops onto the table. So we look over here. This is now out of the view. You do this, and you pick this up and throw it in. Okay, so there's no attention on the switch. And anytime you need to do a switch, that's probably something you can throw in. So there it is there. That's the second one. Oh, shoot, sorry. And that goes in there, okay? Classic palm, this coin, I'm sorry, you don't classic palm. You clip it between your fingers like this. This first transformation change phase is designed to make it look like the ball rolls across and then changes at your fingertips. Wow. And that requires you to classic palm the ball bearing in motion, and it's not hard, okay? Because here's the deal. This is here, so as soon as it touches the table, that appears at your fingertips like that. So the only problem is grabbing the ball. So the ball bearing comes rolling out, your little finger pushes it into classic palm and stays there. You're just holding it there as you're doing this. So there it is there. Now you can classic palm once you're sure you've got it, once you're against the table, whatever, right? And it doesn't have to be your little finger. It can be your third finger, whatever happens to be, depending on whatever path the ball takes.
God, I'm at the wrong angle, and it still looks great.
Yeah, so there it is there. And it's good because it's a very fast roll and a very fast change. Because for the first phase, you want them to really go, what the heck did I just see? But it's good to have it in classic palm and good to have something at your fingertips because palming a ball this small, my hand's going to look kind of cramped. But if I'm manipulating a coin, I'm okay, right? So there it is there. You open your hand. Again, these coins are together, which gives you a reason to come over and take the coins and separate them like this so they can see it's just two. And what I've done is I've transferred the ball over, obviously. So from here, I come over and take the coin like that, place them both here like this as a matter of display, and then just put my thumb on this one as I put one over there like that. And it's
You're just sort of
kinda
cramping
sitting
your
there.
hand a little bit, curling it in.
Yeah, right. And you know, you can put your thumb here or whatever, right? I really don't do much except put the coin in there like that. Move this one into classic palm and pick up this one. Next roll, okay? Normally in a coins across routine, you would classic palm this one so that you can get that noise illusion.
Yeah.
You can hear the invisible coin arriving, but that doesn't make sense in this routine,
Yeah.
right? So the reason I'm classic palming it is so that I can silently classic palm this one, because you're going to need your fingers, because what's going to happen, I'll get back to that in a second. What's going to happen is you're going to roll the ball over your thumb, okay? It's going to roll across, and you're going to catch it here between your second and third fingers, just like this. And drop the coins on top. You know, it kind of feels like that ring thing, right? Because there you are there, and that they're going to see two coins. You put your index finger here, lever these two coins up, and the ball comes up into finger palm.
Oh, wow.
Like that.
That looks almost automatic. That doesn't look very hard either.
Yeah.
I mean, it sound if you were to describe it in text, it would sound like a nightmare. But
Right. Yeah, it's just, okay, you have to get familiar with how the ball moves.
Yeah.
You see, if I shove my third finger forward, it rolls the ball
Yeah.
into position. Now, that's assisted by the fact that the ball is kind of clingy,
Yeah.
right? If your hands are drier, this is going to be a little bit harder. And if your hands are really moist, it might be a little bit harder. But for me, it seems to work pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you just get the ball into finger palm again. Silent palming. This appears in the literature a lot. I think we started calling it a soft palm. You got one coin in classic palm, you got the other coin here on fingertip rest. If you slam the coins together, you're going to get noise. If you just directly push them together, you could pinch your skin in there and cause a problem. I think Reed McClintock was the first person to really elaborate on this. You go past, you put this coin past this coin. The existing coin in classic palm. So it goes up here on the pad of your thumb, and then you drag it on.
Are you using soft coins?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
that definitely has something to do with it. But it's a matter of putting them together like that, and you can palm them quietly.
If you're watching this and you're unfamiliar with the term soft coins, this is a term to represent well-worn silver coins.
Yeah, coins that have been handled, spent. These have been around since the 1920s, and by now the rim especially has been flattened through use, and it allows them to slide over each other without making a whole lot of noise.
Yeah.
Now I tend to keep these a little bit sharper than. They could be silver discs. You've seen some people.
Yeah.
Their coins are that soft. These coins have definitely, I think it's the rim that makes the most noise. So the rims are definitely flattened out. And so that's just something.
Well, thanks for that. I mean, that's so moving past and then sliding it in,
Right.
and then doing. And could you do that with a clad coin, or is it going to make too much noise doing that?
It's a little bit harder.
Okay.
You know, there's a whole discussion that we could have about sound.
Yeah.
And sound is vibration. So if you dull the vibrations, you dull the sound.
Okay.
So I tend to keep my fingers all over it
Yeah.
as I put one coin on top of the other.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
with a Clyde coin, that's what I would do.
I recognize that I'm asking a lot of complex questions.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know as much, and I have this opportunity with you, but I'll let you finish the routine.
Yeah.
So.
It's complex because I have a lot to say about simple things.
Yeah.
But so there it is. And you roll that up. That goes into your finger palm, and these coins go out on the table. Okay. So now we've got a finger palm coin. You open your hand, they see just one. And it's kind of up to you at this point. Okay. I tend to repeat the previous load, which may not be the best thing, but it seems to work. I pick up the coin to show the coin again and leave the ball here. Okay. You could certainly just take the coin like this and do a change to the ball and then steal the coin back because you do need it in this hand. You could actually, in the process of the change, steal the coin. You could, if it were in your repertoire, take the coin and then turn it in with a twist change from one of my earlier books. But this seems to work. So I just, again, I got it here. I reach down to pick up the coin and leave the ball. Just watch your angles, right? I'm looking at the camera right now, so I'm thinking I have to cheat back a little bit. And what you're going to do is direct attention to the coin and perform a retention vanish, which we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on. And there it is there. And then do the rub. Now, this is the one time, the longest time you're going to let them see the ball. So I roll it back and forth across my fingers like this, so at least it's in motion. And I'm getting this coin into that clip position from before. And I am just to the left of these two coins, because what's going to happen is the ball's going to roll across. I'm going to catch it here, almost in finger palm with my thumb, and just push this coin up and then drop it there. And it's the look of the motion that actually makes it the ending. And that's it. Like it.
Do you think maybe you could cover just very quickly some of those changes that you did, like the spellbound changes with it, in case somebody is doing this and wants to do one of those? And I know that you have a lot to speak on this, so maybe a very brief.
Okay, so if you are able to grip the ball like this, it's probably a good idea to do a spellbound change from the classic Vernon routine. You thumb palm the coin and come away with the ball there, because the spellbound change was meant to emulate a card change, right? So the look of the spellbound change in Stars of Magic is like waving your hand over it. Now, if you're making a coin into a ball, I like to make the magic gesture look like what you would do in reality. So instead of waving, it might be better to do this and look like you're crushing it into a ball. And there it is there. Okay, because what we're trying to do is create an illusion that only exists in your imagination. And the best way to get that is to get the audience to do what the audience thinks they would do if you were going to do this. And that's, if I was going to make that coin into a ball, I would probably make it like that. Okay, same with coins through the table. If you're going to put a coin through the table, you should probably just put it through the table, because that's what they would do, right? It's not like I make the coins in a square and then I count two in my hand and I do this and then I bump like that and now there's one, because none of that looks like what people would do. So that's part of it. The other thing was in my second book, the one that most people know, Deceptions in Paradise, there is a change called the twist change, where I don't have a copper coin, but you exchange one coin for the other and in the form of a spellbound change. And if you have done the changeover, so now the ball is here, just by taking the coin like this and twisting it is kind of a ball-making motion, as in my imagination. You could actually make it look like the coin visibly becomes the ball by using that change.
And you're just pulling the one coin in with your thumb and then rolling the ball out with the other?
That change is conceptually really simple, right? All you're doing is pulling this one in and pushing this one out under the cover of that.
It's just marrying the two moves together.
That takes a little bit of, the timing is really hard to articulate. But for that, you would almost do this and get that and then drop it like that and then pick it up and put the coin over there.
Thank you so much for sharing those.
Okay.
This is just a gorgeous routine, and the thinking on it's really cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's just really fun. It's just like it's intellectually satifying as well as visually appealing. So,
and it's surprisingly practical. You know, if you've got the ring and the ball, that's all you need to do this routine. As long as you've got a table that you can roll the ball across on, and you can do it in noisy situations. People get it. Right. And the last thing you do is you put the ball away. As you know, showing you're putting the ball away. You're palming it, and you go back to your pocket for the ring, and you put the ring back on, and you're done. You're clean.
It's wonderful.
You can do the last routine, which is in disclaimer, is with the ring, and the coins go across. All at once with the ring again. But what I did last night
Yeah.
was something that's a little bit weirder.
Yeah. Let's take a look at a performance of the next piece.
But this went on for longer than 3 months. And it got even stranger. And I thought maybe it would be better with the kind of coins you find in your pocket or out, wherever you happen to be in real life, and more than just 3. So 6 coins. There is an old tradition of doing this trick with more than just 3 coins. And watch, I'm going to take 3 in each hand and make them travel across. Now, some of the people in the front look skeptical. Let me show you, indeed, I am telling you the truth. In this side, how many do you hear? Yeah, 3. 3 coins. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And over here, 3 coins. 1, 2, 3. Now, 3 in each hand, and yet, impossibly, and that's how you get 6 coins to go across.
Curtis, I think what I really like about this is playing with size disparity, because it was just like I'm sitting there, I'm watching this in the tech booth, and I was just going, oh, okay, we're doing a coins across with quarters, and then suddenly there's dollar coins, and I was like, where did those come from?
Right. So this is a really weird perversion of the Hang Ping Chen coins across.
Yeah.
And I will show it to you, and you will laugh when you do it for yourself.
Yep.
But I will give you a warning after this.
Okay.
So you have just done the coins, the 2 coins across as we talked about.
Yes.
You've got 3 silver dollars.
Yes.
You put them away.
Yes.
As you take this out, but you definitely remember to finger palm them.
Okay.
So you've got them here. This is a little coin purse that's got a bunch of quarters in it for later, but all we need right now is 4, 5, 6 of them. Okay. And 6 is there because we are going to suggest that what we're about to do is the classic Hang Ping Chen coins across.
Yeah.
And just in most people, when they have approached Hang Ping Chen, they know that move looks like a demonstration of 3 coins in each hand.
Yes.
And to motivate that, Slidini, Hang Ping Chen himself, they all would do is make a suspicious motion. And then because there's suspicion, then they have an excuse to do the display.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to follow tradition and be really cozy about this and make it look like you're intentionally creating suspicion.
Yeah.
And what you are doing is classic palming all 6 quarters in your hand. Okay? Which is not easy for someone that usually works with dollars or half dollar. So here's the deal. Gather them all, and I take them all at my left fingertips, and then I just stick them right into classic palm here. Not the best technique, but the goal here is to look suspicious. Okay, so here we are here, and now hopefully people question how many coins you have in each hand. Now you can dispel some of that by doing this. You can hear them in this hand. So you go, okay, no, there's 3 in this hand. They go, okay, he was kidding me. And you slap the coins down, and they turn out to be the dollars. All right, now you're classic palming these. Obviously what you're going to see is it looks like I've got 3 coins here, and that's just Slidini type technique on the Hang Ping Chen.
Can you walk us through that? Because this is another one of those things that I always feel like I get caught.
Yeah.
But when you do it, I know that those coins came out of that hand. And so I'd really appreciate just a little
I can tell you.
info on this.
I do, again, I got a lot of stuff on this. I'm being a little bit lazy. I'll tell you the best way to do this. All right, so there's a lot to this. With 3 large coins, I would do it the Slidini method.
Okay.
Which is to not to drop the coins. Okay. The Lotta technique is to leave the coins hanging in the air and to slap them down.
Yeah.
And the Francis Carlisle's method, I'm told, was to have the hand up here and to do the pitch underneath to create that illusion.
Yeah.
But Slidini's approach was to have show the coins in your hand, and then have them resting on the table. They're just resting there.
Just sort of like hanging out the side of the hand.
Yeah, and your hand is just kind of there, okay? So that all you do is this coordinated moving your hand away as you lay the other one down. So there's no tossing, there's no dropping.
Okay.
It's much more relaxed. And the part I'm not exactly doing right now is it's best done with your body. So you turn this way to put that down. You address the spectator here, and I turn back to the center. Okay. So the natural turn of my body gets this hand out of the way.
Yeah, that's a real Slidini.
Yeah.
Like letting your body drag your hands around.
Right.
Type
yeah.
deal.
Because that's what makes it look suspicious. Is when this hand, why do I have to put the coins right there, and then why does this hand get out of the way?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that clears up a lot for me.
Yeah. So
I hope it clears up stuff for people. But
So that's basically it. You show $3 silver here. You show $3 silver here. Pick them up and thumb palm them, and then show that all 6 quarters have gone across, and you're left with these guys in thumb palm. But that result is weird enough where you could drop your hands in your lap, and do whatever you want with the coins.
There's not a lot to it, but it's just like what is going on?
Right, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted each phase of the routine to be weirder. And this is inexplicable. I will tell you that I first posted this on Instagram. There are magicians who watched it and did not see the change in size.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm putting emphasis on the number of coins, right?
Yeah.
And they're used to seeing me with the dollars anyway, and they just kind of assumed. So if you're thinking about doing this with $half instead of the quarters, and either these coins are $half or maybe these coins are $half and it's dollars here, I don't know if they're going to see the effect.
Yeah.
I have done it with other objects. Obviously, this could be any 3 objects. When I did it on my virtual show, it's a coin purse, a poker chip, and a ball bearing. And they all factor into the routine earlier on.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they all come back by accident, right? There.
Yeah.
So it's 3 of those and 3 of those, and then it's all that. So it's a little more obvious, but just fair warning: people do not see that change as automatically as you would think.
I love it. We're going from here, and are we gonna introduce more quarters, or are we going to a different routine first?
We're going to introduce more quarters.
Oh, okay. This is the one that I've just been I've been up all night thinking about this. Take a look at a live performance.
I'm going to tell you a story. This is a story that involves money, coins in this case. What a surprise! And what makes this unique is that in this story, there's a hero. And the hero in this story is a lawyer. So, and accountancy is very important here. Okay, so this is the story. Once upon a time, folks, an elderly gentleman passed away, leaving an estate. The estate represented by these quarters here. And you can see how many quarters we have. I'm going to count them out for everybody and just keep me honest, make sure I don't do anything sneaky. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so far?
Yep.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 coins. Okay, excellent. You don't get ahead. All right, 17 coins. The entire estate was represented by these 17 quarters that we have on the table. The lawyer says to the heirs, well, your relative passed away without a will. Therefore, by the laws of the state, you know what happens. The estate passes in according to the laws of intestate succession, and those dictate that half the estate go to the widow, a third of the estate goes to his brother, and 1/9 of the estate goes to his cousin, which were the people that were there. Did we see the problem? Yes. 17 coins. Half of 17, sir, is 8.5, exactly right. Digital, that's very good. Had you only been metric, it would have been worse. And a third doesn't divide evenly. 1/9 doesn't work, right? This is where the lawyer becomes the hero of our story. The lawyer says, look, I happen to have money of my own. And hypothetically, if I were to take my money and add it to the 17 coins, how many coins would we have? 18. And then what would that do to our math? It would make it very easy, wouldn't it? 1/2 of 18 is how many coins? 9. So that'd be 1, 2, 3. Again, watch me like a hawk. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes? And then 1/3 of 18 is how many? 6. That's 2. That's 4. That's 6. And 1/9 of 18 is 2. 2 left. Everyone's divided evenly. The lawyer has done his job. The estate is settled. Everyone's happy, except someone, being a very honest soul, says, wait a minute, what about the money that you loaned us? Who's going to pay the lawyer back? And here's where the story gets strange. The lawyer says, look, I was only speaking hypothetically. I can't give you money. I'm your lawyer. And if you look, I haven't. And if you look, there's 2 coins plus 6 coins is 8. And 8 plus 9 is 17. So we have a happy ending. We just don't know how.
Okay, Curtis.
Yeah.
I'm aware that I'm about to be very mad at The Secret. I have no idea. I watched this twice last night, and in the second one, our other camera operator, Dalt, was sitting next to me, and the quarters come out, and we both went, count them, and then watch. And it's just like there's... How the hell does this work?
Okay, so this is I'm told, okay? I am happy to talk about how wonderful this little thing is, because it's not my routine, all right? At the beginning of this year, January, there was an amazing issue of Genie magazine, and it featured some marvelous work by Gabby Perez. And hidden in, and usually if there's a fantastic feature magic, and he gave like 3 or 4 routines that really illustrated his approach to magic, which is just great. Those are really great routines. I'm glad they were there. Thoughtful essays. You kind of miss what else is in the magazine.
Yeah.
And in Magicana that month, Chris Wardle had a routine called Coinundrum. And this is his application of coins to an old word problem. And it's something that you use to confound people that are just discovering math.
Yeah.
So this is good nerdy fun. And as you saw, this requires 17 quarters. And that's what we have here. Okay, you can take my word for it. That is 17 quarters.
I don't take your word for it, because I've watched this twice. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay.
Got them? Good, because sometimes they stick in here.
Okay.
Okay, so it is good that you checked.
Because I started thinking about it last night, and I was like, well, clearly he only put 16 quarters on there. But then, no, it doesn't work that way. And
Okay, so this is not Chris's handling. Okay, this is mine, because I like them to be able to touch the coins.
Yeah.
And I like all the handling to be open. And for reasons of my own, I use quarters. His routine is taught with $50. Okay. And it's really subtle, but this is a subtle effect. Okay. So what you have is a coin purse with 17 quarters. Inside the purse also is a neodymium magnet underneath a little bit of Velcro.
you jerk.
And this quarter is shimmed.
I am so mad at you.
So,
Okay, walk us through a routine, because I have no idea when you wave that purse over that thing.
right, early on, which is the time to do such a thing like that. So 16 coins go into the purse. The shim coin is here. You need to keep track of it because it feels exactly like a regular quarter. It sounds like a regular quarter. almost impossible without a magnet. So first thing I do is I show the purse. I steal that coin off so I have a grip on it, and then drop everything else into my hand. So I'm finger palming the shim coin. I put them all out, and I put the shim coin where I can find it. All these coins are generally here, like this, with the shim coin here. And then we count the coins. And as you count them, you place the shim coin someplace you can find it. All right, so that's all 17 coins. Now you continue the story. Inside the purse also are 3 little cards that have the 1/9, and that's when you steal the coin.
I don't like you at all. That's brilliant.
There it is. Okay, so you've stolen it. You can toss it from hand to hand. It's palming itself. You can hide a quarter like that. And this people assume that's 17 coins because who can count, right? And you tell the story about the lawyer who has, and you steal this coin and you bring it back out again and you add it back to the group. Now, it turns out you can distribute 17 coins into 3 piles if you think there's 18 coins. So 1/2 of 18 is 3, 6, 9. 1/3 of 18 is 2, 4, 6. 1/9 of 18 is 2. And that all makes sense to people. And they say, oh, because we have 18 coins now, all the math works out.
And I think what's interesting is that I'm understanding now what this illusion is, that 9 is half of 18, but 9 is also an odd number. And so it feels like a nice round squishy number like 6 and 2 does.
Yeah.
And so my brain doesn't question the fact that you just counted 17 at me.
Right.
It's
And people will not consider that there's, that this adds up to 17 until you make them look at it. And you go, by the way, 9 plus 6 is 15, and 2 more makes 17. And there never was an extra coin.
This was the most frustrating, I don't know, this is my 30th or 40th lecture that I've hosted, and this was genuinely the most intellectually frustrating thing I've ever encountered. And you used a stupid magnet.
A stupid magnet and a shimmed coin, and wow. This is like, it's it's a constant concern for me to keep track of that sucker because it looks just like the others. There's a lot of ways to handle this. Okay, now in Chris Wardle's original, I shouldn't call him Chris, I don't know him. He openly removes. He counts out the. He actually has 17 coins, and he opens a ring box, and in there is another coin. And he turns it towards him, and he takes out just a shell and sets it here. And then he nests it as he moves the coins around. So that's how the coin vanishes. And then at the end of the routine, he goes, there never was an extra coin. It's still back in the box.
But that's a beautiful routine. But.
I kind of like it like this. And I like it to be sort of ambiguous as to what the effect is really. And when the magic took place. You see, what the nice thing about this is that it's almost impossible to say when the magic happened, except the way I look at it is that a coin vanishes into the math, which is a mysterious, inexplicable, and therefore magical thing to a lot of people. So there it is. There, bam.
It's like weirdly my favorite thing I've seen in a long time, and I'm fascinated by it. But yeah, I love the idea a lot. I mean, an ambiguous coin vanish is such a nice thing. And I kind of like these routines. I mean, I'm not sure where I would perform something like this. I might just put it on my desk or have it on my coffee table or something like that for a guest or something like that. Because it doesn't feel like something I would do in a formal show, but it's just. I feel like the challenge for this is finding where to perform this, because this is a great routine.
Yeah, it is. It works socially. If my day job is being a lawyer, so I get to tell stories about lawyers, and so socially that works for me. I'll tell you another place it really worked well was at a magic convention.
Oh yeah.
I was at the SAM convention in January.
Yeah.
And there's a table of all the young coin guys.
Yeah.
And they're all showing each other retention vanishes and flips on the wrist. And they go, hey, can you? And I said, okay, can you show us something? Oh, yeah, let me show you. And I did this.
Yeah.
And it's so unlike anything they've ever done.
Yeah. I bet it fried them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I bet they're all going, Curtis has got some insane clip. He does with a quarter off of a solid table.
Yeah, or we don't even know when, or that he did.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. This is really great.
Yeah, and thank you for Chris Wardle
Yeah.
for doing it and publishing it. And stupid coin. There it is.
Oh, there's.
I don't have much else to tell you.
No, it's fine.
This is only one way to approach it. If you do, there is a way to do it with completely ordinary coins, and you may like this. If you do the 7 pennies from Bobo's,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're counting coins here, and that's the whole point, right? So, so then it's 17 coins, and you say, hold up your hand for me. We're going to make sure we see how many coins we have, all right? So how many coins do you see here?
It's 3.
3, that's right. And 3 more here,
Yep. 3.
and 3 more here makes 3 sets of 3 is,
9.
all right? And 1 more makes 10.
Yes.
Right? And then 2 more is 12.
Yep.
2 more is 14.
Yep.
2 more is 16.
Yep.
And the last one makes
17.
17 coins. Close your hand on it. You got 17 coins?
17 coins.
I take out these cards and I say, the whole story about the dividing the estate up into these amounts. And it doesn't divide.
No.
So I'm going to take an extra coin that I happen to have and I add it to your 17. Now you have 18.
Yeah.
And now you can distribute them yourself.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
And so then it's this 9 over here.
Yeah.
And then, and the guy does it, right? And it all works out.
Yeah. And then you point out that
then you
there's
point out that,
17. Oh.
And it's all been in your hands.
Can you very briefly go over the little counting thing there?
Okay, sure.
Just in case someone doesn't have Bobo's, because I love the idea of an alternative way to do this with just fair coins.
Right.
Because it's a beautiful counting procedure that just happened, and this is brain candy. I'm sorry we're spending so much time on this trick, but
No, but I did.
yeah,
So you're going to have to.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Eventually you're going to do the Terry Lynn's 7 penny steel.
Yes.
And essentially what that is, and I'll show you the original, is that you have 7 coins. The 3 and 7 is traditional. I don't know if that's the magic number or whatever, but it's an odd number.
Yeah.
Okay. And his idea was to put the coins into the spectator's hand one at a time.
Yeah.
And my hand blocks your hand. Okay. So that's that's 3 or 4, 5. On 6 you tap and you just hold on to the coin, and you make a big thing out of the 7.
Yeah.
Being clean, and you shut their hand. Okay?
Yeah. And then I have 6.
That's the original change. So I've discovered that it's better rather than just tapping with a coin and not leaving a coin.
Yeah.
If you put the coins into their hand 2 at a time,
Yes.
you steal one and they still feel something go in their hand.
Yeah.
So that's the way I've been doing the steal. You've got all these coins.
Yeah.
And frankly, maybe you ought to do it earlier.
Yeah.
But I do it later.
Yeah.
So you can. I think 3 is fine.
Yeah.
People can tell 3 right away. You can show them 3 like this.
Yeah.
That's 6. 3 more makes 9.
Yeah.
And then I think 10 is a landmark, so I just put the 1 for 10. Now there's no way he's going to feel whether you've stolen a coin or not, but I'm still doing this. So the rest of the coins go in my hand like that, just like before, and that's 2 coins, and then 4 coins, and then I do this so they can see it's 3, so they can anticipate what's going to happen. I put my thumb on this coin and just put 1 there.
Yeah.
And then it goes there, and they shut their hands.
That's great. I mean,
No.
the magnet is super fooling, but this is so practical.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And the added bonus of them being able to distribute the coins is just
It's all in their hands.
Yeah.
They think they've got all the control. Ultimately, it's impromptu, but
Yeah.
you have to have 17 quarters. So I didn't find any real benefits
Yeah.
from it being that impromptu. But
There's something really
the way.
lovely about little tricks like this that are like it's not quite storytelling, but it's very engaging and odd, and
Yeah.
and I love it. I love it.
yeah, and it's not as direct as the coins across. It's not as visual as maybe your favorite coin trick is. But what are you going to do for your second trick?
Yeah.
Right? What are you going to do for your third trick?
Yeah.
You can't keep repeating the same miracle. Even if you had the best, most visual, most perplexing mystery with coins, I mean, what are you going to do next?
It's what's interesting is that it follows the same. It uses all the same moves as the sort of high flying daredevil stunts of the other coin tricks, but it is so much more engaging on a routine level
Yeah.
that you are instantly drawn into this.
Yeah.
So
And it's the opposite of visual.
yeah,
But it's, like you said, it's the one that you think about afterwards.
yeah,
And if after your show people are arguing about one trick, it's usually something like this.
yeah.
Because everybody sees something a little different. Yeah. So that's that.
I think we spent plenty of time on this.
Yes.
What is the next trick?
I accidentally
We skipped one, didn't we?
skipped one.
Sorry, I skipped it because I was too excited to get to this.
Yeah. Yeah, we did skip it.
Yes.
We should probably go back and do that.
Yep.
Which is the beginning in the act.
Yes.
It's the beginning of the concept of I'm going to play with the form of magic that you're familiar with.
Yes.
So now let's talk about when the magic is happening. And it turns out I'm going to create the impression that the magic is happening when you don't see any magic happening.
I love it. Let's take a look at a live performance.
I'm going to share just some of the secrets of the trade with you all, if that's okay. One of the things that allows me to do this magic is that I'm doing the magic, and I know when it's happening, and you don't. And you would be surprised to know when it's happening. So just for the next few moments, I'm going to show you a dollar bill. No magic's going on. I'll fill you in as we go. The magician takes the dollar bill and rolls it into a cylinder. If you grew up in the 80s, you know, completely ordinary everyday activity. No magic going on. The magician takes a silver ring and puts the dollar inside the ring. Does not look like much. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, the magic is happening. This is impossible. If you remember tonight, remember this moment. Remember that you got a chance to see the impossible happening. Now, you don't know why it's impossible, but take my word for it. This is the magic. And I should know. Let me show you the one thing you need to know to appreciate what's going on here. And that's, you can see.
I'm so sorry, Curtis, that I skipped over this because I really do like this trick. This is so much fun.
Yeah,
and
you know.
it's a weird form of magic, and it's great.
I like this a lot. We're going to start playing with when the magic is happening. Okay, and this was originally inspired by the way Garrett Thomas did his the brass block in the matchbook.
Yeah.
The matchbox, and it is half of the coin through the ring that Del Rey used to do. I like it better this way. Okay, but it's a lot like the quarter thing in that it's not an easily articulated effect, right? Because when does it really happen? So anyway, the deal is this: you have $1 or whatever. You can even borrow that as long as you have a folding coin in your palm. Okay, and in the context of a formal show, I don't bother borrowing the dollar. I just bring out $1 with a folding coin in the back of it, and you can do whatever displays you want to do. There certainly are a huge library of moves to hide a coin behind a bill. Jerry Andrus made a particular favorite of that effect. And what you do eventually is you get the folding coin here with the crease, the folding coin, the folding parts going sideways, and you roll the folding coin up in the bill like that. And they will not see any magic, rightfully so. Anybody can do that. And you got to hold on to it while you take the ring off, and you probably could, if to avoid an awkward moment, put the ring on the table before you start. And you put the bill through the ring, and you tell them, see, with your index finger here and your thumb here, this is angle proof, and you can go right up to people and say, look, this is magic. This is impossible. This is all that's going to happen in this trick, and this is the magic right here. The reason you don't see it as magic is because you don't know what I know. And you're going to create the impression that there's a coin in there, which there is. So it's not a whole lot of lying. And you set it down, pull that out, and I've got the flap on the bill so that I just pull this way, and the bill unrolls this way. And you saw right there, that's when the $50, when the folding coin actually opened, and that drops out like that. It is surprising how surprising that is.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do not have to be in a rush to switch it.
There's something. The first time I saw it, I was like, "What is he doing?" I didn't know where you were going.
Right.
And then as you go up with the dollar like this, and suddenly you see a dollar coin, it's visually arresting.
Yes.
Now you switched the coin in the
I
routine.
did. Because I'm sitting anyway. Coins, duplicate coins in the lap. And because I produced it on my hand, I just show that, and I just say, look, it doesn't fit through the ring, so that's what's impossible about it. And people will want to look at it, right? And so coming forward to let them look at it is a fine excuse. And that's the whole switch right there, just that. And having a reason to take it, right? So you can go, look, this coin, this hand has to reach for the ring.
Would you mind giving us another look at you rolling the coin up in the?
Yeah.
Because I think that the way you rolled it up was pretty important.
It's important to me.
There's some details there that make it better and help it hide and unfold.
So I have put the first fold over the coin like this, so that if on occasion I have done this, where you roll it to here, and then this is a little bit more complicated, but you then pinch the coin here, so that for like stand-up work, you can then reveal the dollar in there like that. And with a smaller coin, like a folding quarter, it looks like the coin is definitely in there. It's a little bit difficult to get that impression here, so I don't go for it. But yeah, if you fold this portion up over the dollar, when it reveals like that, which is kind of neat.
And how are you folding beginning the fold of the coin while it's inside the dollar?
Yeah. So this is my side. I'll give you my view.
Yeah.
I'll just do this backwards. This first fold just goes over the coin. The coin is not folded at all. And then after that, I'm going to fold the coin up.
So you're folding the bottom half with the fold of the dollar over the coin, so it really gets like
wrapped up in there.
It's like the coin is like literally wrapping the coin up in itself as the coin is folded. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when I've done this with a quarter, what I've done is this. I have set the coin to here and folded these two corners over like this. Just kind of smushed them in, and then rolled it from here. Okay.
So they can't see in the ends.
Well, so that what you get is these two flaps, and then what I would do is have the spectator hold on to this one, and I hold on to this one, and those crunched in corners make sure the coin doesn't fall out, and you can open it like that.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And that's for when you're using a folding quarter, you're obviously going to be closer. And when you're the person I'm doing it for, bam, you see the coin right there.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work with a larger audience, a larger
Yeah.
coin, but that's for a smaller coin. That's probably a good way to do it.
It's a great idea.
So anyway, this is it. Now, years and years ago, probably in the 80s, I saw George Schindler do a lecture, and he did he did most of this trick. He did more than this. Okay, so this is what George did. He took $1, he rolled it up, he put it in a ring. He then took out a coin, and he made the coin disappear. And he said, "Watch, the coin's in there," which is a neat trick.
Yeah.
And I've looked for this trick. You can look at all the in Bobos, and you can look at all those little books that say 50 tricks with a folding coin.
Yeah.
It's not there.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, George was the guy that started doing it. But about that time, Del Rey was doing the coin through ring, and he would show you a coin and wrap it in a bill, and then jam it through a ring, and then show you the coins on the other side.
Yeah.
And that was kind of neat. It's a nice little feature in his act, or it was. But I like the idea of just doing half of the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting
in the middle and then showing him that there's a coin in there.
Yeah, I do too. And it's one of those things that you don't even think of a folding. I own a folding coin. The purpose of that coin is to go into a bottle.
Yeah.
And this is a great way of looking at it.
And it's a great way of looking at effects in general.
Yes.
If you're trying to create a new feeling for an effect, maybe start in the middle. Maybe only do half the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, the other conceit of this particular effect is you're telling the truth. You're telling them, look, this is the magic, and you aren't lying. And then that's where that's where it happens.
It's wonderful.
Okay.
I think we're moving on to the next effect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the next one?
It is a very old coins across from Bobos called the Chinese Money Mystery, and I never did it. No one ever did it because the actions of it are kind of hard to explain, and I found an explanation for it in a political rant.
Okay.
So that's what this is.
Well, let's take a look at a performance and then we'll learn it.
Going to show you how hard it is to be a magician today.
Okay.
You have no idea, right? We're living in weird times. I don't know if you noticed. And there's an old trick where a magician takes 8 quarters and he lays them out in 2 rows of 4. And the first thing you're supposed to do is pick up 2 of the quarters in your hand, just like this. Normally, not a problem. But the other day I do this and someone says, "Hey, show us again." I just picked, no, show us again. So, okay, look, here, I'm going to pick them up again, right? And, okay, the guy says, "Yeah, go on." So I pick up the next 2. He says, "Hey, show us again." I say, "Wait a minute. I'll do it, but why?" He says, "Look, simple. I don't trust you. You're a magician. Magicians are on television. I can't trust anything on television. Ergo, I cannot trust you." I said, "Okay, fair enough." Pick up the next 2. That guy's quiet. Someone else goes, "Hey, that guy made a lot of sense. So show us." So you show him again. And I pick up the last 2, look around, and sure enough, somebody wants to see him again, because it's their constitutional right. So there they are. And when you think about it, it's really no big deal. I could toss the coins out and pick them up again. I mean, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take long. But all of this stuff, no matter how seemingly innocent it is, there's so much of it. You can't help feeling that there's some kind of sneaky bullshit going on. Since you have all these quarters, let's pull 8 of them out.
Okay.
And there is a effect in Bobos called the Chinese Money Mystery. And it's not done with Chinese coins, although it could be. I think Bobo called it Chinese simply to sort of excuse the bizarre procedure. which is to pick up 2 coins like this and to toss them on the table. And pick up 2 coins and toss them on the table. And pick up 2 coins and toss them on the table. And pick up 2 coins and toss them on the table. And then the coins all go across. And it's kind of a neat trick if you can excuse what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
And the basic mechanics of it are that the first 2 coins legitimately get tossed out and picked up again and go into your hand. Only the right-hand coin goes into finger palm. The left-hand coin just stays right about here, like that, because you're going to pick up these coins. This coin's going to go into finger palm right on top of the other one, and this coin's going to go on top of the other one, so it's here. So when you pretend to throw them out from both hands, you're throwing out the 2 from the left hand. All right, so it's just that. But it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah.
This hand does a little Hang Ping Chen move, and now you pick up 1 each, and you repeat that. And every time you don't throw a coin from this hand, and you do throw coins from this hand, you are sneaking coins across. And then you're left with 1 coin over here and a bunch of coins over here. And the way that you resolve that situation in Bobo's, he suggests one way is to say, look, if I just take this 1 coin and put it over there, they all go across.
Yeah.
Or just to not care about it. So you just gotta go, there's all the coins.
You bluff.
Or
Yeah.
there's all the coins, look, you can count them if you want. Right?
Yeah.
So you could do that. But how do you explain what you're doing? And it turned out that it occurred to me that if in your script, all this reshowing is something you don't want to do. It can be. It seems less suspicious if if they're following along in your presentation, and your presentation is that you didn't want to show this again. You find it annoying, and there were just things I wanted to rant about anyway about conspiracy theories. So I say, look, it's a standard effect. It's so hard to be a magician these days. If I've got 8 coins, 2 rows of 4, just like I always have, and I pick up 2 coins, just like I always do, these days someone's going to say, wait, show us again. And so, okay. And you kind of reluctantly show them again.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, show us those 2. And it's at this point, the second coin, where it's, okay, fine, but why am I doing this? And the guy explains that I can't trust magicians because magicians are on television, and I don't trust people on TV. Fine. And you pick them up. And then you get this other line, which is what you hear a lot, and it really annoys me. And that's, someone else says, hey, that guy made a lot of sense. That guy didn't make any sense. But that guy made a lot of sense, so those go back out. And you just come up with anything you want for the last one. It's my firmly held religious belief that you should show the coins twice. So fine, the coins go out. Okay, now you're here.
Yeah.
And this is the psychologically interesting thing. The way I do the last coin is this. I throw out this one, pick it up. I throw out this one, pick it up, and we're done. And
It's discrepant, but it's like the discrepancy that feels correct.
It
Like
feels correct.
if you were to do what you were supposed to be doing, it would feel like you were doing something sneaky.
yeah, and it is just something that's intrigued a lot of people. Shigeru Takagi has a routine like this, and when he gets to the last coin, he does this. He goes, he did this. He would take this coin, he'd show this coin like this. He would show this coin like this, and then he would make an X, and then he would pick this one up. And Takagi had a way of doing things that didn't make sense, and they seemed to make sense when he did them.
Yeah.
When he did them. So, in my case, it turns out that they've seen so much of this that this really is sort of innocuous, and you just pick it up. You just pick it up with the wrong hand, and even though the effect is coins across, and you are just tossing one across, they don't see that. And even if they do, it doesn't explain how they all get across.
Yeah.
So So that's the part that makes me smile during this routine. Also, the fact that I get to do a rant about conspiracy theories and people, thinking they have to do their own research. That's the other line in here.
Yeah.
So why do I have to show you again? I'm doing my own research. Oh, fine. Anyway, so that's it. I just wanted to revive the Chinese money mystery for our current political climate.
Oh, I love
Any
it.
questions?
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay,
Where are we headed now?
we're going to do a quick gag.
A quick gag?
Yeah.
I'm into it. Let's take a look at a quick gag.
So,
Curtis,
yeah.
is this why you had me search deep in my magic drawer for the last no bounce ball in existence?
Yeah, and I think, I hope that it worked out for the audience.
Yeah.
Because I like these no bounce balls you guys have
Yeah.
because they're red.
Yeah.
And the problem with no bounce is that
They've always been black, and
Yeah.
they're like the size of marbles.
yeah, and you can't see them.
Yeah.
Right. And this is just a little interlude. This is something I just came up with just for a quickie on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah.
But it conveys an idea without saying a word. And and that's the way I do it. I don't say anything. It's just I've sent people back to their seats. They go back to their seats, and I just start and I just have this and I bounce the ball, right? And you bounce it from your right hand, catch it in your left, bounce it, catch it in your right, and that's misdirection. Your left hand takes the no bounce ball off from your lap, and I just do a transfer like this and set the ball down. When you set the ball down, this ball goes in your lap, right? Pick up the coin. The coin drops, right, as it should. Now, the only problem with this is that it's over so quickly. But you set the coin for a muscle pass. You have to be able to do the coin that falls up. I got it. The coin that falls up, presentation of the muscle pass. And ideally, you want to do that you want to do it so much in your life that you're able to catch the coin.
Yeah.
All right, and and that's just a matter of familiarity with the move and your conditions, and you know how high your muscle pass generally goes. Also, you don't want to move this hand. I've seen a lot of people go, yeah, I can get 12 inches on my muscle pass, and that's what the audience thinks you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So you do not want that to happen. You just want it to go up like that. So that's it. You drop the coin, you show the coin, you turn to this side so that you're not showing them the mechanics of the muscle pass. I've seen too many people on their promo videos showing people, look, I can do a muscle pass. And you're not showing your buddies, right? This is lay people we're talking to. So it drops here. There's the coin. That's my muscle pass position. I will turn this way and take the ball here. And it makes sense in this context because this is the hard part of the table.
Yeah.
So I'm here, and I just drop the ball, boom, and this hand comes over to here, and the coin goes up.
It's great. There's something really wonderful about not transposing objects, but transposing the properties of the objects, which is just really fascinating, again.
Yeah, and to get that to work, you have to delay. It has to be, bam, that has to register.
Yeah.
And then this hand comes over, and you got count to three. They will not see it unless they anticipate it.
Yeah.
And then it comes up.
It's just very pleasing.
Yeah, and that's the bit.
I love it.
And that's a good reason to have those. And it's good to slip something in like that, especially when you're talking as much as I am in this act.
Yeah.
It's good to have a moment where you just shut up for a second.
Yeah.
And just still communicate. Yeah.
It's man, I love seeing what people do with these things because it's like a weird prop.
Yeah.
And it's like a weird thing to do, but like, man, I like this a lot. I hopefully I'll see more people doing this.
Yeah. I love that plot. That
Yeah.
prop.
Next routine,
It is a card trick done with coins.
a card trick done with coins. Let's take a look at a live performance.
You know what's really nice about magic with coins is that you do see it.
Yeah.
It's very visual.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, if you are a magician, you will see ads for magic tricks with coins, and the ads say these tricks are visual. And then they say things that I don't really understand what they are. They say they are extremely visual and hyper visual and ultra visual and the most visual thing you've ever seen, which would be everything, I would think. Either you see it or you don't. So I thought I would do something for all of you that's invisible. Something entirely the opposite. Inside here, first of all, you can see that.
Yeah.
Little coin purse. And inside that little coin purse, 3 coins, which you can see. Yes? A rather large English American penny. You can take a look at that if you like. A rather large phony Chinese coin, if you're interested, and a rather large American silver dollar from the 1920s, which you can't look at. No, you can look at that too. I'm sorry. Just gotta take a look. It's all right? Okay. 3 ordinary coins. In here, 3 coins. You're just going to have to take my word for it. Can't show them to you. Nothing else. Sounds like they're in there. You can feel them. Do they feel like coins?
3 coins?
They feel like 3? That's what you think. But we don't know because we can't see them. Now, I can't show them to you, but you can hear them. And you can see something strange. Watch. Penny goes inside my hand. Would it surprise you if I were to show you there's a penny in there?
No.
Because I put one in.
Yeah.
Would it surprise you if I showed you there's another penny in there?
Yes.
Maybe I just had 3 pennies in there. Maybe I've just been lying about how special these coins are. I've been known to do that. It's really not magic until you see me put the Chinese coin in there. And again, would it surprise you to see a Chinese coin?
No.
No. But if there's 2
Ooh.
or 3,
Yes.
now we're talking, right?
Yeah.
And the 4th one here, I'll put that there. And if I were then to take the silver coin, let that percolate just a little bit, and I were to show you 1 silver coin, no big deal, right?
Yeah.
2 silver coins. That's a little bit strange, right? 2 silver coins, and 3 silver coins. And nothing else,
Ooh.
then where or what, we're not sure. And it would be nice if I could show you these coins, then you would know. Can't do that, though. Against the rules. And really, it's a better mystery if I don't. But you may just catch a glimpse as I drop them back into the goblet. Oh, no. You think they're gone. But no, that would be lying to you. No, they're here. You just can't see them, like I said. It's the mystery.
Curtis?
Yep.
You said we were doing a card trick with coins.
Yes.
And yet I find myself staring at a glass, a goblet, and a silk.
Yes.
I think this is another one of those where the premise is really fascinating, and I just don't even care about the magic. I just want to enjoy what it is, right?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But there's some interesting stuff in the techniques as well.
Yeah.
But it's mostly the translation. And I've chosen to translate a trick that's usually done with cards that a lot of people don't understand or don't appreciate, I think. And I thought, well, then I'll make it into a coin trick. Okay?
Yeah.
And it was genuinely a response to a lot of ads I see where they say, a lot of people promoting their own coin magic, and they go, this is visual.
I take exception to this because I write a lot of that ad copy. And we can have a deep discussion later on the differences between hypervisual and ultravisual, because I use those purposely.
Yeah, and the most visual, right? And visual has sort of become like the word natural.
Yeah.
You know, it's a replacement for magical.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of magicians that think as long as you're natural, you're doing magic. And no, that's just, hopefully that means your moves won't be seen.
Yeah.
But we don't know what you're going to accomplish anything magical. So here's the deal. I translated Brother John Hammond's The Magic Cards into a coin trick. Now, the Magic Cards is a card trick that depends on you not seeing. Okay, so it's a trick in which 3 cards become 3 different cards, right? But it depends on what you don't see. And that your mind is filling in a lot of what happens. And in fact, in Brother John's work, that he leaves room for people to see all kinds of things. And I wanted to capture that in a coin trick. So the idea was that they don't see the coins.
Yeah.
And they do. They see the coins, but they don't see the coins all together. Okay? So here's the deal. You've got a goblet with a little silk handkerchief. Inside you've got a coin purse. And inside the coin purse, 3 coins which they can see all together. And I've got a silver dollar, a large penny, and a phony Chinese coin. Inside the goblet, inside the handkerchief, are the same 3 coins. And that's what we're working with.
Oh, wow.
That's in here. And it's a little frustrating because the fact is there are no gimmick coins, there's anything like that.
I was certain there would be like a copper silver or something like
Right?
that in
There
there.
probably ought to be. I think John Bannon was trying to convince me that there really ought to be. But you can't show that to them, so
Yeah.
why not, right?
Yeah.
But I do rely, because you can't see the coins, most of the deception in a gimmick coin is visual, right? They sound really bad.
Yeah.
So I am using sound a lot.
I was noticing that this is like a one-piece goblet that makes that really beautiful sound.
Right.
And you use that frequently in this to illustrate that. And it's as I'm remembering the routine now, I'm going, oh, it sounded right the entire way through, which is very unusual.
Yeah, also, all you have, right?
Yeah.
Because they can't see the coins.
Yeah.
They have to hear them. They have to feel them. So the first thing I do is when I take out these coins that they can't see or they can't see, and let them know that there's nothing in the goblet and that these are solid. They can hear them jingle in there, and then I can take them up to a person, and I can spread them out, and they
Yeah.
can feel them through the handkerchief, right?
Yeah.
Does it feel like 3 coins?
Yeah.
Good. And then I bring the cloth over here, and
So it seems like the most difficult part of the trick.
drop them in there, okay? So here's the deal. Hands are empty, and your conditions are important because we're doing sort of a locked room mystery, right? It's about what goes in and what comes out, so you want to make sure they know that there's nothing in your hands. These drop out. They hear them come out. They hear them in your hand, but you don't show them to them. And what you are doing while you're shaking like this is you're looking to see which coin is on top. So you just so you don't have to be careful. So that's the coin you're going to take from here and put it here and let it drop in on top of those coins. So now you're going to push out a Chinese coin, not a surprise because you put one in, and then another Chinese coin, and you just push this coin out of finger palm so that they can see it here. And you're going to do a click pass where it looks like the Chinese coin goes in there and it just goes back on top of the finger palm coins.
This is not the drop that Jeremiah Zuma
No,
does.
no.
This is the coin is coming back into the hand.
Right.
Oh, so your thumb is pulling it
You're
backwards.
just pulling it back.
Okay.
Okay. You could use the drop.
Yeah.
I think Jeremiah tried to get me to use the drop.
That sounds like
But
him.
yeah, I think he puts it as he puts it. If you want to upgrade, but I think there's a potential for the coins to flash through here.
Which would ruin the mystery.
Yeah, and I don't want them to see that. So this is the concept of the trick allows you to do sort of a cozy little handling like this.
I was just thinking that you can get away with some sleights that might otherwise be a little awkward because you're not allowing them to see it.
Yeah.
It's-
And even these are kind of like supposed to be brief kind of glimpses,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yes, because I can't show you everything. So that comes out, and you do a click pass,
Mm-hmm.
and that comes out, and you do a click,
Mm-hmm.
and the last one comes out. Try not to make noise on the last one because there's not supposed to be any coins in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you want it to sound like the others.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just dropped it flat on there, sometimes depending on which coins you're using,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't sound right. So I tend to miss and hit here and then bring them together.
Oh.
So it makes a small noise,
Yeah.
which is kind of what the noise is with the click pass.
Mhm.
Because otherwise it's much louder or a little bit louder.
Mhm.
Anyway, so there it is there.
Mhm.
So that's the 2 coins here. You this move is not going to make any sense.
Okay.
You put your thumb on these coins like that,
Mhm.
so that it's at 90 degrees to your hand, and you come in as you open this hand. You put these coins here,
Mm-hmm.
and you pick up one of the Chinese coins and put it down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that is so that when I take all these coins and put them here, the Chinese coin goes to the bottom of the stack, and now it's a different coin on top. All right, I don't care which coin it is.
Can you just walk us back through that, just
Yeah.
just so that we're clear?
Right. So I want it to look like
Mhm.
I'm just reaching in and taking out one of the Chinese coins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I am going to transfer these coins to behind
Mm-hmm.
these coins. Then the Chinese coins drop on top, and I take the Chinese coins out like that,
Mm-hmm.
so that the Chinese coin is on top here.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that when I place them in this hand,
Got it.
the stack turns over.
Yeah.
If you like, and I found this difficult to do without
Mm-hmm.
flashing, you can do them one at a time,
Yeah.
so that you get that audible of 3 coins.
Mhm.
Regardless, there they are, with this coin, the silver coin on top now,
Mhm.
which again you tell by just looking
Mhm.
into your hand. And now you take the silver. Now this is the first moment that they're actually seeing magic.
Mhm.
It may have been that there were 3 Chinese coins in the goblet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this is the only time they know for sure. And you repeat the actions.
Mhm.
That's the silver coin.
Mhm.
That's a silver coin click pass.
Mhm.
Silver coin click pass. The silver coin drop like that.
Mhm.
And again, I'm going to place these coins under. I'm going to lift these coins up
Mhm.
and put these coins underneath,
Yes.
and then take the silver coin and put it down.
Mhm.
Now I'm going to leave them in my left hand. All right. And all this is choreographed so that the last coin that you haven't used yet ends up on the bottom.
Mm.
All right. Because we're going to change procedures here just a little bit. The penny goes into your hand, and just like before, it ends up on top of that stack.
Mhm.
Show the hand empty. You reach in, you shove the penny upward,
Mhm.
and you're going to take this top coin into finger palm as you show the penny.
Mm.
All right, so now I'm here like this. And you can even do this display if you like,
Mhm.
which I am going to do later. And then come over to the goblet, and I'm going to hold on to this coin and drop the dollar.
Mhm.
All right, so that's what's happening here. I then take this coin and go back in again. I set it down on top of the stack and take the next coin in finger palm. And I show it like that. Okay, so now I've got the Chinese coin here.
Mhm.
I come over here, do the switch again. And now I reach in and actually genuinely take the copper coin. I can show it like this, which this is not far from this.
Yeah.
So you could do this display the first 2 times, and the third one is just a little bit cleaner,
Mhm.
and they see it go in there. Now, they don't know. There may be more coins in this hand.
Mhm.
So I save that for the end. I slide that coin out, create a little bit of suspicion, and show them that that's the mystery. And that's sort of in the Hammond routine.
Yeah.
You know, that how is he showing three different sets of 4? There must be extra cards, and he's doing a big thing about the cards being. So anyway, so that's it. Boom. That one comes out. The hands are empty. Okay. There's a pause there, and the effect finally, I think, sets in. You know, because it's they're not quite sure what the effect is, but then they're clear that it's that clean, and that's when the effect sets in. Now, that is pretty much a translation of the magic coins, magic cards, but I wanted an ending. So the ending is this. I'm going to play with the idea that they can't see them. So the handkerchief comes out here. I place it on top of my hand, and I pour the coins into the handkerchief. Right? Yeah. They can hear them in there. And we're going to do a gypsy switch, which it's hard to find that in print.
Yeah.
It's in the Kabbalah, and I don't know where else. I think Amar teaches it on.
It's in the Easy to Master Miracles, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I can't remember which volume, but I know that's where I learned it.
Yeah. Okay. And it's in Michael Amar's Coins Through the Sheer Silk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but here's the deal. Okay, the coins are there. You close your hand over it like this, and all I'm going to do is grab some of the handkerchief underneath the coins. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. That's just going to complicate things. All I'm going to do is grab the coins underneath the coins. My thumb goes here, my index finger goes here, and my hand comes away like that. It looks kind of like it should. It looks like the coins are in the handkerchief, but they're not. They're actually outside the handkerchief at this point. And I just set it down in my hand, right into finger palm, and I finger palm those coins. I stroke up like this, and I say, you might get a chance to see, you might see the coins as I drop them into the goblet. And I take two of the adjacent corners, to the extent that I know which ones those are, and I'm upstage of the goblet so that they can see this. See, I got the wrong corners. So they can see this. Boom. And it's like as if the coins have vanished. But they didn't see anything. So then I'm going to toss the corner that I have, this one, so I can get under it like that. I've got coins in my finger palm here, under there. And I'm going to suggest that the coins are in here. So I take this over here like this, I hit here, slide it against the coins.
Yeah.
And so it's as if the coins are invisible, but you can still hear them. And we are going to repeat the gypsy switch. You just pinch the coins between the handkerchief and the, like that. You do this, come back, and now they're in there. And there's your mystery in coins that you can't see.
It's great.
My pleasure. Thanks. Is that clear enough for everybody? Got it? Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, there's sort of a lot going on,
Yeah.
and the routine's a little repetitive, but it's repetitive in a way that it just deepens the mystery.
Yeah.
So I think anyone who's watching this could learn that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. And certainly there's a lot of different directions to go with that.
Oh, yeah.
The repetition develops the effect, because there is a distinct difference between doing it once. There's no magic doing it once, could have just been three, right? And there's a little bit more magic doing it twice, and there's a little bit more magic doing it 3 times. And then there's just a nice ending. So that's that.
Great. Now,
And now we're going to come into the weirdest effect that I think it's the weirdest effect.
all right,
All right.
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay.
Let's take a look at a live performance.
I have a thing to show you that I can't even tell you about it. I don't even know what to say about it. All I'm going to do is count to 13. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. That's 6. That's 7. That's 8. That's 9. That's 10. That is 11. That's 12. And that's 13. Now, I can make it simpler. I won't even count. But I think that the key is to get rid of one of these coins. Maybe this one. It doesn't seem to be working. Yeah, okay, that one. Now we're down to 2. That's good. And this one over here, if I get rid of this one, then we're just left with the single coin. And all I do is take it over here like that. And, well, I'll just put it away, and we will be done.
Curtis,
Yep.
that was weird.
Okay, good. This is something, more than any other trick that I've been doing, where I'm not sure there's magic going on here. The traditional way of doing an assembly, a barehanded coin assembly, is to create the impression that you don't touch the coins, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole conceit of shadow coins,
Yeah.
right? I don't touch the coins. I wave my hands over the coins, and they all gather, right? We give that up in this trick.
It's got a very Jan Frisch feel of it.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially towards the ending.
Yeah, where there's stuff going on, and it feels like there's also a rhythm that
Yeah.
you're hitting.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And it feels like there should be an extra coin and there isn't.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Okay. So I've got a fairly colorful coin purse that's not very large, and inside it contains 1 coin. This goes away into my right pocket because I classic palm in my right hand. They don't have to know that.
Is that not something you just tell your audience
Yeah.
at the beginning?
I don't know where you folk classic palm, but I classic palm in my right hand. So we're going to do a production. I've got 3 coins classic palm in my left hand because I was lying earlier. I classic palm in either. And I'm shoving 1 coin off. And I take this coin forward a little bit, leave that coin on the table, and then bring this one back over it like that. That's just to produce this coin. This one comes loose. I move this coin forward and leave that one on the table as I rotate these 2 coins around it like that. So you want to, basically you're just leaving coins on the table, and the movement of the coins is there to dress that up so that it's not obvious what you're doing. The last one we're going to leave right here as we move these 2 coins apart like that. So we've got this diamond pattern, and these coins have just appeared, and that's sort of interesting to people. And it associates for them this movement of coins on the table and magic happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to move the coins on the table and don't do any magic, but we're going to get them used to this aesthetic of swapping the positions of 2 coins. All right, and crossing and swapping. Okay, and then I'm going to swap it here. And then I'm going to take this coin and classic palm it as I take this coin, and my arms are crossed at this point, and I uncross and place here, but I don't leave the coin there. I've got the coin in classic palm and it stays there. And I come across like this, and I take this coin and this coin, and I leave the palmed coin there, and I do this. And the end effect is that a coin has gone from here to here.
Yeah.
I think. They tend not to see this when I put down nothing, and it's not until I do this when they realize something has happened.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, but it has a magical feel to it, okay? So then we're going to take, with the right hand, one of these 2 coins, in fact, the one on the left. And with the left hand, I'm going to take this bottom coin, and I'm going to swap their positions. This one's going to go way to the audience side of this coin. And you need it there in a second. And you want your hands to be here, right and then left. because the next move is to come over here like this and come over all the way over here like that. And you want the audience to look here because you're simply not going to take a coin from here. And
It's really effective. Like that. I know you're like, I think they're seeing magic. They're seeing magic.
I think so, but and I think they don't think it.
Yeah.
They don't think about what could be happening. They just take you at your word. And it looks like I'm just changing the positions, and yet I don't.
I think what happens is with certain effects we're able to focus in on something, and here you're creating such a wide picture frame that I have to look at everything or I have to look in one place. And so because I can't look at everything in one place all the time, I only see the moments that you want me to, and so the frame is too big. It's too fuzzy for me to focus, and that's why everything becomes magic.
I think so. I think that's probably that's a pretty good analysis of it, and I think that's a large part of what's going on.
Yeah.
The last one is the only technically traditionally magic thing.
Yeah.
This hand hovers near this coin. This hand's going to come and pretend to take the coin over to here and make a big thing out of the vanish. The thing is, as you pretend to take it, this hand covers the coin, right? So it's just that pass there. The coin disappears. That's one beat. The second beat is this hand goes forward, dragging the coin with it. And it moves just like all the other movements. This hand moves not to cover the coins, but to move a coin.
Yeah.
Just to move this coin back to here. And then that makes the assembly of 4.
That's great. That's really cool.
And this started with an idea from Keikoa, one of our disclaimer members, and we just Richard Hucko and myself and just about everybody on the disclaimer staff had jumped in and started playing with different things with this, and this ending came out of it. Now, this is the simplified version of the routine. Keikoa has another phase, and when he does the routine, and that's going to appear in the disclaimer next year. But this is close to what he's got there. But anyway, so we get to the ending. Now we want to eventually keep the same aesthetic, but we want to eliminate coins.
Yeah.
Or at least try to eliminate coins, and eventually eliminate the coins. So I'm going to take the far one with my right hand and the closer diagonal with my left hand, and this one's going to come all the way down to here, and this one's just going to go like that. All right, so that goes like this, and then like this, and this is just getting them used to the swaps again and getting the coins back out into the 4 corners. And then I exchange the top and bottom, and I take this with my right hand, the far one, and I do this, and I look at the coin and pretend to place it in my pocket, but I've classic palmed it. So now I'm going to exchange this one and that one. I take this with the far one with my left hand. I leave one palmed coin there, and I do this. And again, it seems like we have 4 coins. This one goes into my pocket, and I classic palm it. I take this coin, and I look here as I do that, and it looks like we're just not getting anything done.
Yeah.
That gets classic palmed as it goes to the pocket. Now we're actually going to be eliminating coins. So the right hand takes the coin here, and this coin comes up because I want those 2 left, and I classic palm that one. I take this one, and they exchange positions, and I classic palm that one silently, and I grab the purse. And this I'm glad you're able to see it, because it does not feel like this. All right, so you put the coin here like this, you can show your hand empty. This hand crosses to here, and this hand crosses to here, and you just pick up this coin and leave the purse and do that. And it looks like the purse comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it really does.
And it's just, us staring at stuff and trying stuff, and all of a sudden something looks like magic.
If you want to learn this routine, I know we're not done yet. I know you're about to make the coins, but I do want to point something out, because you just did it with this, is that if you go back and watch the performance of this, focus on where Curtis's attention is because your attention is all when you're making the coin appear is in lifting that coin and putting it there, and that coin is like the most interesting thing in the world to you.
Right.
Is what it looks like, and I think that's because I can see people wanting to do this because it feels very easy, but the difficult thing is applying your attention to the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
and because that's what's making this miracle happen.
Because these are all ambiguous movements.
Yes.
So they're going to rely on you to direct
Yeah.
just for the narrative.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly where it goes. Also, this hand is empty.
Mm-hmm.
It reaches over to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're sure this hand is empty.
Yeah.
It looks like this hand suddenly has a coin purse in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and because they start to ignore these crosses.
Yeah.
So there it is there. You have to be able to open the purse and still have these 3 coins palmed. Now, you can do this a number of different ways. The hard way is the best way. It's to shove off a coin, and as you pick this one up, you leave another one. As you pick up that one, you leave another one. As you pick up that one, you leave another one. And they all just kind of go, and you're being kind of nonchalant about it. You
Yeah.
just put them all back, and you set it down, and you're done.
And it's that attention again, where you're like, I'm picking this up, and then your attention is on the purse, and now your attention is over here because you have to pick up a coin.
Right.
And it's that it's a difficult thing to do to apply your attention like that. And I think that this is you do it beautifully, which is why this routine is so magical.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Because the first time you look at this routine,
Yeah.
you won't know where your attention has to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that took us a long time.
Yeah.
Was to figure out, okay, where am I supposed to be looking when I'm doing this?
Yeah.
And but I think it's at least interesting in the look of it
Yeah.
and the way it works.
Yeah.
And it is, but I'm really happy that it's turning out to be a performable piece.
I think it's eminently
Yeah.
performable.
So that's that. That's Kitco Assembly, based on Kitco's idea.
It's phenomenal. And I think I know where we're headed now, which is going to involve a tuning fork, a seashell, the insides of a watch, parts of a TARDIS.
Yes. If I had one, I would have.
Let's take a look at a live performance.
You may have noticed a theme. Everything comes out of Crown Royal bags. That's. Have you noticed that? Quality show. There we go. What you see here is everything a young scientist needs to perform the experiment: a tuning fork, a seashell, an important part of any experiment in Hawaii, the workings of a self-winding watch, which allows us to do time travel. Anyone over the age of 50 will remember Bear aspirin used to come in these little tins, and inside we keep precious items, in this case, little bits of tissue paper that have been scientifically treated by a magic dealer. So you know it's reliable. All right. And the experiment happens, first of all, with the coins. Could I have 3 quarters, please? They look all right? Yeah. 75 cents. And 3 quarters as well from you, sir. Sure. 75 cents. And with those coins, along with those coins, we are going to put the watch part. Watch me carefully, make sure it's going in there. Is that going in there? And then the 3 of the dollars, please. And 3 more of the dollars. 6 quarters, 6 silver dollars, making the total value of our deal. You don't have to be paying attention at all. Doesn't really matter. But a lot of money, a lot of coins. And, pardon me? $7.50. Excellent, excellent. You're paying attention. You get to take the shell and put that right there on top of those coins. Can you see those coins in there? Yeah. All right. And the tuning fork goes here. Okay, here. I can't get it. Would you take out one of those pieces of paper?
Sure.
And put it between the tines of the tuning fork?
Like that?
Excellent, excellent. You've never done that before, and you did it perfectly. Inside here, important for any kid's experiment, the gag comedy match, which is a lighter. All right, those are the only gags I could do as a kid. Watch. And there it is. The tuning fork, the seashell, the watch part, and the mystery.
Okay, Curtis, so I know the translocation you said was the strangest thing you do. That you're wrong. This is the weirdest thing you do.
Okay, this is only not the weirdest thing I do because it's an old trick.
Yeah.
There's a trick called Eddie Joseph's Shattering Silver Balls. And I read it as I was a kid because it came out in the 60s, I think. And I came across it, and the description says that the magician places a silver orb into his hand, and then a larger silver orb, and then a milk stone, and then 10 $half into his hand, and then a protective plate and a piece of paper, and there's a flash of light, and then the coins are all gone. All the little things drop out of your hand, the coins are gone.
Yeah.
And it just fascinated me. I said, what could these little things possibly have to do with making those coins disappear? And the only other person, as far as I can tell, that was fascinated by this was Michael Vincent. Because Michael Vincent has a version of this. And I go, oh my gosh, it's the Shattering Silver Balls.
Yeah.
I've never known anyone else to care.
Yeah.
And he does a great job with it.
Yeah.
And having spent years behind the counter at a magic store, I saw in the ad that you needed 2 different sized ball bearings and then a milk stone, which is basically a white marble. And I said, okay, so clearly this is what Eddie Joseph had lying around the magic shop. And he had a bunch of these things, and he had that, so that becomes the presentation for the trick.
It is a Doctor Who episode in your hand, is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Please teach it to us.
Okay, so I said, look, the first thing I said, it doesn't have to be the balls.
Yeah.
Right? So it should be something. And then I realized that the fact of the matter is, I did do little science experiments when I was a kid. So I thought, what did I have in my drawer? And what did I use? What seemed magical to me or scientific to me when I was a kid? And I used those things.
Yeah.
Okay. So this effect requires 6 quarters and 6 silver dollars.
I have a feeling that it's because there is some piece of apparatus that these all fit snugly into.
Well, no. Actually, there's a piece of apparatus that these fit snugly into because these are the coins we decided to use. Instead of 10 $half, which I frankly don't have in my act, I think there's something a little more ungainly about different size coins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right? So that's what that's why the 2 different sizes of coins. I think at some point you reach maximum load, and the difference between 8 and 10 and 12 $half really doesn't register in the audience.
Yeah.
So,
Sort of like a miser's dream. Like after you've produced 40 coins, I don't really care about 60.
Yeah, right. Unless they're better, but they're not. Yeah, so what you need is 6 silver dollars, 6 quarters, a Crown Royal bag, which basically is the official bag of this act. And because, again, that's where you put all your precious stuff as a kid, right?
Yeah.
And inside, things from my childhood. And you open up the bag, and I leave the lighter in here, okay? And dump everything else out and set that down aside. This can be done standing, and it's probably better if you do, because if you can lap, this routine is easy.
Yeah.
And the conditions are everything. This is the inside guts to a self-winding watch.
I believe you.
Right, it's got little spinny things. A seashell.
I believe you.
A tuning fork.
I believe you.
Aspirin tin.
Don't believe you.
Yeah, you can see you can find these in museums.
Yeah.
Aspirin used to be sold in these little tins. I don't know why it's not anymore. And inside there are little balls of flash paper. And that's how you open it. You press there on those 2 little red corners, and there's little balls of flash paper in there.
If someone was going to be doing this trick on their own, they could literally just get anything.
Yes.
That is going to.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could have Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
You could have whatever. When Michael Vincent does the routine, instead of a tuning fork, he's got a clear disc that sits on top of his hand, and the flash paper goes on top of there. You clearly wanted some distance between you and the flash paper.
Yeah.
There is some wisdom to using a conventional cigarette lighter, because then you can borrow that maybe from people if people still smoked, which is getting harder and harder to find. I use a gag match lighter because it just seems to fit with everything else.
No, the way you produce it though is interesting, because it felt like I felt like the bag was empty and crumpled up, and then suddenly there was this long match coming out of it. And I was like, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I liked it.
It's nice because that's also the cover for the ditch.
Gotcha.
So in addition to all of this, you do need the aforementioned aid, which is that.
What the hell is that?
Okay. It's like a Slidini coin clip, and then it's got another one on its back. And it is a clip that's designed to hold 6 silver dollars and 6 quarters. There are, in hardware stores, coils of aluminum clothesline. Now, why anyone would want aluminum to make a clothesline, I don't understand. Maybe in tornado country you want this. But it is just that. It's a plastic-coated aluminum wire. It's very easy to bend, okay, but it still retains some flex.
Yeah.
And if you double it over in the middle, and it's best to think about this in 2 halves, right? This is just a clip that's big enough to hold 6 silver dollars. And this aluminum clip is the aluminum is springy enough so that even at repeated insertions and all, it holds it quietly.
And that coating on it is helping to hold it in there and also deaden some of the vibration on the sound.
A little bit. But frankly, the surface of the aluminum is so soft anyway.
Yeah.
I've done it without it. And the quarters, standard coins into coin clip technique. The coins go in as a spread, and the first 3 don't matter. It's the last ones that go in there. They're a spread like this, and then they go in. Oh, I'm sorry, they're a spread like this. So you go in first against the clip, and then you shove in the ones in the middle like that. And they all go in there, and it makes a nice silent lump. Okay, it's better than putty. If you really love this routine, you can get magnetic quarters and and silver dollars, the replica dollars, and magnetic quarters, and maybe it will all go together like that. That's Sawa has some very nice mass coin vanishes using magnets like that. So anyway, this is the way I've chosen to do it, since I like to use these coins throughout the rest of the show. I've got 2 people up to help because you need them. You want them involved, and you want them handing you stuff, because you do not want to move this hand very much. Once you're gathering all the stuff, just for focus, right? You don't want to.
And you stole the clip out of the bag when you were emptying it, correct?
Right. First thing I do is I open the bag up. I reach in, I push the lighter up to the top, and then I grab the clip wherever it is. That goes here. That goes here as I dump out everything. All right. Introduce all of this. You can point. You can handle everything. You can introduce everything. We're going to do time travel. So I show you an empty hand, and I take the timepiece and put it here, and I actually do place it, and it's necessary to place it carefully, and you just put the clip there on top.
Is it necessary because you're about to put a lot of stuff in your hand, and so there's like one place it fits?
You want to put you got to keep your organization going, but you can make it seem as if it's important to the experiment, right? Because you get to make the rules. So you can start with either one. I suppose the dollars are better to finish with, so I start with the quarters, and I take the 3 quarters from this person, confirm that they're real, confirm that they're separate, and they go into the clip. Those 3. go into the clip, and like I said before, they lock down like that.
Yeah.
Now, you can move that out of the way if you like at that point. So now it's like that, so that the dollar side is available. I take the dollars and put them in, and again, the first three go against the others, and the last three, the back one, the one that goes against the clip goes in first, and everything else goes in there like that.
Yeah.
Right? Boom. And I kind of lock it down. What's nice about this clip is that it's not visible. You can look at that.
No, I can see all the coins in your hand.
Right.
That's crazy.
So I hand the person the shell, and I say, go ahead and put the shell right there on top. And they do that, and they see the coins inside. And then you start to move the clip down to outside. All right. I put the tuning fork in here as well. And you can stick it between your fingers or whatever. It might actually be better to stick it so it's further away from you.
Yeah.
And I say, and so now I'm going to cross, which is poor theater. I say, go ahead and take out one of those little balls. And my hand is open and up, palm upwards. No, go ahead and take out one of those. I don't give you time to do that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I come back and I steal I just drop the clip full of coins, and I come this way and say, go ahead and put that between there. And that's actually kind of a delicate thing, and people are interested in watching
Yeah,
it.
it's like.
Yeah.
How does that go?
There.
in?
That's
Yeah.
good. That's
Okay.
good. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And now the coins are clipped here. I grab the bottom of the bag and turn it so that the lighter is going to go onto the table, and then fold the bag over like this. And
That just hides that big old
That's
lump
all in
right there.
there.
Yeah.
okay, because you don't want to go to your pocket,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to go out of this frame. And then I started doing this recently. This person puts their hand underneath, kind of bird cage this thing.
Yeah.
And the other person puts their hand on my wrist, like that. And just don't burn them. Get them away from the flash paper. And as they're doing that, then you get that. And then just like Eddie Joseph said, I guess you have them move their hands away, and you take this away. You take this away. I like dropping the watch out the bottom, and then the coins are gone.
That's great.
And that's it. That's the experiment.
Yeah. It's really, really lovely. And it's fantastic. I don't think we have anything else to share on this.
Yeah.
But I do believe you are going to share something really special with us.
Yeah, I feel like I should,
Yeah.
just because I may have teased this effect on both of my other Penguin lectures. I've done the performance only.
I'm really excited by this because you don't see this trick very often, and I know that a lot of coin guys really like yours. And so sharing it with the Penguin audience is something that means a lot to me. And so let's take a look at a performance of Curtis Cam's Cylinder and Coins.
If you'd like to see one other thing, I can show you what magicians do while you're not looking. Yeah? Interested in that? Okay. So there are magic conventions, and magicians get together and they try and fool each other. And just as there are jokes that comedians only tell other comedians, there are magic tricks that magicians only do for other magicians. And when I'm with a bunch of other magicians, the trick I do is in here. This is the one I do. And it's not about the little wooden box, and it's not about the gold ring, and it's not really about the silk handkerchief. It is not even about this leather cylinder or this little brass nut, although it could be. The nut is like a marker. We'll get back to that. The cylinder is there just so that these coins can all be stacked up nicely. And we start with the nut over here. And the coins over here. And the reason this is popular with magicians is it's about the rules that we know that you don't know yet. In other words, if I were to take a coin in each hand and I squeeze them like this, do you know what happens with the coin? Yeah. That's it. But other than that, nothing. Because there's a rule. If you want something magical to happen to the coins, you need like a magic wand. And I don't have a wand. I can take these 2 coins and use them as a temporary wand. And then those coins disappear. Okay? It's a strange rule. If I put them, but I only use 1 coin and wave it over, just 1 coin disappears. Just left with the 1 here. But I can take that same coin and wave it, and then the other one will go. So I don't know what the big deal is. Now this last coin, move that aside. We'll get that coin there. This coin, you actually can take and tear it into little tiny bits and sprinkle those little bits on top of this coin like that, and then brush them off, and it looks like the coin disappears. But since you're all magicians right now, you know that coins don't just disappear. They have to go somewhere. And tonight, they're going. But the thing that gets me is if the coins go in like that, how is it they end up underneath the nut? Like that. Yeah, I don't understand myself. I tried to figure it out, and I thought maybe if I cover up the coins and hold on to the nut, I could make the nut vanish and appear under the coins. But you know why that doesn't work? No magic wand. If I had a magic wand, I could wave it over the top, and then the nut would just, oh, this will work. I can wave the coin over the nut, and then the nut would, oh, wait, that's 2 coins. Wait a minute. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's 3 coins. No, wait a minute. That's, no, wait, that's, wait a minute, that's, and if that's all the coins, that's all there is. And that's our friend the nut. Thank you. And normally that's the ending, but not tonight. Because tonight you're all magicians. And you know what you know as magicians is that there's one more step, one more chance to catch me. And that's when I pack it up. Magicians know to watch, to look for extra hidden things, maybe something else that's you didn't see before, or maybe I didn't tell the truth about how things stack up underneath the cylinder. And magicians know that if you can see a miracle like that, and then watch the performer pack up all the props and still not have a clue as to how it was done, why then you've seen something special. And I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen something special tonight. Thank you very much. Very good to have you all here.
I am super excited for you to share this with us. I will never forget the very first time I saw cylinder and coins. It messed me up real bad. And it was a gentleman by the name of Bob Bolivar showed it to me.
Oh, yeah.
And Bob didn't tell me how it worked for like a year. and every time we were at the castle together, he would show me this trick, and it really screwed me up. And it's that little cork resting on top of the coins.
Right.
It just was terrible. And he finally shared the secret with me, and so I started working on it myself, because I do 2 coin tricks. I do coins across and I do cylinder and coins, because I'm just fascinated by this trick. And yours is really a tour de force. And so I'm really excited to finally learn it.
I am happy to talk about it.
Yeah.
I have no illusions that there's going to be a lot of people doing it, although I do know there is one person who does it already.
Yeah?
I've taught it to Danny Cheng, who's one of our Disclaimer staff members, and he does it. He does his version of my routine.
Well, this is special sharing this with us, and so I appreciate it.
And I think there's things to learn about this effect
Yeah.
from this, even though you may not do exactly this.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to warn you ahead of time. In this routine, you do the slow motion coin vanish while you're hiding 5 coins. So it's a fun thing to practice. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of things to learn about this and the effect, and that's I think what you just mentioned is probably the most important thing. You have to decide at the outset this trick was invented by John Ramsey in the 1930s, and he fooled all the magicians with it. It has a reputation for fooling magicians. And you have to decide in this particular effect whether you're going to do the trick for lay people or whether you're going to do it for magicians.
Yeah.
Because magicians are impressed by the vanishes.
Yeah.
Right? It's 4 very clean vanishes according to as far as magicians are concerned. Lay people, I'm convinced that for lay people, the big moment in the routine is when the coins appear underneath the little marker coin.
I completely agree with you.
Right?
Yeah.
So in this case, I decided to emphasize that. I've never really created magic for magicians. And I wanted to do this for my performances. At least I wanted the end result to be something I might perform for lay people. Since then, I've done it, and they seem to really respond to this.
I having done it myself for lay people, now mine's not nearly as cool as this, but when you lift that cylinder and they see the coins underneath the cork, their brains melt.
Yeah.
They don't understand how you could do that. And particularly with yours, with that moment where you drop the coin on top and then it's underneath the nut at the end, is you could hear in the second show last night, that lay audience was all in, and that really screwed them up.
Yeah, and that is really satisfying to me.
Yeah.
Because it really cements the effect, and it gets you around having to vanish the last coin.
Yeah.
Which is traditionally the hardest.
Yeah.
Because you're hiding all the other coins. So with that in mind, this is an approach to cylinder and coins for lay people. And I realized that, like we said, the big moment for them is when you see the stack of coins under the marker. So I wanted those elements to be visible. So where a lot of magicians are knocking the number of coins down to 3, if you're doing it on a table with a tablecloth, they may not even see 3 coins. And cutting it down to 3 coins, the smaller your stack of coins is, the smaller your marker is.
Yeah.
Consequently, or conversely, if you use 6 coins instead of 3, your marker can be much bigger.
I was just going to offer a disclaimer in that because I know enough about this trick, and while I don't know all the mechanics of yours, there are a lot of people who are watching this who are going to go, oh, I want to do that routine. But I imagine that these props were custom made for you.
These props were custom made by me.
By you, yeah. Yeah, I feel like cylinder and coins is almost like becoming a Jedi. Like when you learn it, like you build your own lightsaber.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to make an argument for doing it yourself. And I'll tell you why.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. This little box is the most recent addition. It is I suppose you know how you can get cheap liquor on airlines in those little bottles?
Yeah.
Apparently you can get cognac. This is when you get a little tiny personal bottle of cognac, it comes in a little wooden crate like this.
Okay.
And these little wooden crates are coincidentally just large enough to hold a cylinder and coins in dollar size, which is what mine is. But it does a new illusion, which is something I'm really happy to talk about. So here's the deal when I do it, okay? You've got a heavy silken rayon handkerchief, a very small one. It's like the size of pocket squares. If you go to a tuxedo shop now, they're all very small. It's wrapped around the cylinder and all the coins and held in place by a ring. The ring is just sort of misdirection. It's the first thing the audience sees and the last thing they see. And there it is there. I say this trick is not about the ring. This trick is not about... That's odd. That's never happened before. The purple handkerchief. And I fold this and I place it on top of the ring and kind of central, more central than it should be, because the one feint that I've kept in the routine is this. Okay, so when Ramsey did it originally, there were all these sucker moves to tease magicians with. And I took most of them out except for one, and that involves this. This is not where it should be if you're doing a proper show. It's in the way. This is a leather cylinder from Frank Starsinik, the Ambitious Card. I don't know if they even make them anymore. I think this may be the last thing they still make. They're long.
Yeah.
And I like them long. But it also helps because I've got a 6-coin stack.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what's in there. It is a brass nut, brass for contrast. People have said to me, why don't you shine up the nut?
Yeah.
You don't get any contrast that way. If you've seen it on video sometimes, YouTube and Instagram. A copper coin looks like a silver coin depending on the lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you want as much contrast as you can, so it's a dirty nut. Sorry. This is the stack. It's a 6-coin stack. Now, if you look at the nut and you look at the stack of coins, it's almost like the nut won't fit in the stack. And that's what you want. You want as big a marker as you can possibly fit in your stack, just so that they don't think that you did fit it in the stack. So that's that. That's a 6-coin. That's 5 coins that have been hollowed out.
Yep.
And a silver dollar on top. Another nut, and 6 silver dollars.
I want to just sort of address your stack real quick. There are some very, very fancy Ramsey stacks out there. Some of them are held together magnetically. Some of them are pinned, so that with larger holes drilled in the center, so that the center coins move, even though the top and the bottom don't. But you've elected to go with a solid stack, which I also made that concession.
Yes.
And I think it's because you never try and emphasize their individual coins, and it doesn't feel like it's necessary in the routine.
I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I don't. If people are suspecting a stack, then
you're already lost.
Yeah, you're kind of screwed anyway. This I built myself, and what I was concerned with was sound.
Yeah.
Okay, because the nut is metal. If this hits the nut at any time and it's wrong, you're going to get a sound. But if you built the stack yourself and it's not riveted together and it's not glued together, but it's held together with like tape that's been doubled over on itself.
That is taped together?
Yeah. Tape that you twist it around so it's sticky on all sides and you jam it together. What it is it's dead.
Okay, that's the most insane way I've ever heard to build a stack.
It's actually the best way for this because, first of all, it doesn't make a whole lot of sound. Second of all, why do you have a stack? You want to show 6 coins.
Yeah.
But you're showing them from the edge.
Yeah.
Which is the stupidest way to display a stack of coins.
Because those are all, they're all jammed up. I mean, those coins look like you throw them on the ground.
Yeah, because, because that's the way that's the way the Morgans came to me. But also, the audience is only going to ever see the edges.
Yeah.
Right? So for this to look like 6 coins, you want as much distance between the coins so that it emphasizes each edge. And again, the tape does that.
Yeah.
Where if you had firmly welded them to each other,
it would
you
be
would
small.
Yeah. So there's actually more definition to the edges. So it turns out that the cheap homespun way to make it is the way to make it.
That's so cool.
So anyway, that's what that is. So this is all inside the cylinder at the start. And you're like that.
Yep.
Right? So not about the ring, not about the handkerchief, not even about this leather cylinder. And you pick up the stack by squeezing and the nut on top. And I set that down for a second so that will sink to the bottom. It's not even this nut. The nut is just a marker that goes over here. And while you're looking at that, I'm going to rotate this around so that I can do this display, which is quite a good display, I think. I think you don't need to do anything else to show that your hand is empty and the cylinder is empty. It's actually about these 6 silver dollars. The cylinder is just here because anything you drop on the top gets all stacked up at the bottom. And that's simply to show them this, and then you come back and you cover both the stack and the nut underneath it.
I think that one thing, if you're following along, when Curtis put the leather cylinder on it, he's switching the nut to show emptiness of the cylinder.
Yeah, right. That's from the original Ramsey routine.
Yep.
It is it's not a convincing way to show a cylinder empty.
Yeah.
but So I don't make a big thing out of it. I just kind of do it incidentally.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to come to my favorite part of the trick. You put your little finger under, your third finger under here to hold that nut in there, just like a cups and balls routine. You come over to here and slide the nut off like that. That kind of nicely puts that on there. And you drop the nut. And it sounds like the nut hits the wood.
Yeah.
In fact, this is intentionally a sounding box so that they can so that they can hear that.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just dropping on top of the stack. So you can, at that point, you can drop the nut, and then you can show them the nut's there. All right. So that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Do not drop it from as high as you want to drop it, because there's a chance of the nut doing this,
Yeah.
and that's going to screw you up for the rest of the trick. So yeah, so that has to go flat. All right, so now we're going to have to vanish 6 coins.
You're crazy.
Yeah, if you did it one at a time,
Yeah.
it would not be enjoyable to anybody. You'd be working really hard to bore the audience. So I'm going to do 2 at a time for the most part, and I'm going to do them with click passes, because a retention pass is very convincing, but I've probably already done a retention pass in my show.
Yeah.
I usually close with this or something like that. So I'm going to do click passes so you get the audio convincer as well. All right, and the click pass I'm going to use and the retention pass that I use is just this. Again, it's sort of like the magic coin, magic cards routine. I'm just pulling the coin into my finger palm. All right, and it's just acting as if I'm tossing the coin over here. And that's pretty much what Goshman's toss vanish was. It was mostly just having done this a lot.
Yeah.
And his hands just did what they do when you actually do it. And what you get is the illusion, as long as they're not looking right at it, okay? There's 2 kinds of retention vanishes. One is the T.J. Crawford retention, which is the one everybody looks at when they do it, because you want the audience to look at it. And then the other is the toss vanish, which is associated with Albert Goshman. And it's best done while the attention is here, in the periphery, where the mind fills in what they expect to see. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to feint the retention the first time. I say, take coins into my hands like this. I squeeze the coins. You know what happens? They say no. I say nothing happens. And I let this coin drop, because I'm then going to toss this coin over to here and do the retention pass, and then take this one and do the retention pass again, but now it's a click pass. And I say, the problem is there's no wand, and this is another Ramsey display without going, wait. It's like, but if I use these 2 coins as a wand, the coins vanish, right? So now we drop this one here, and we do another click pass. And I say, but if I take just 1 coin and wave like this, and I drop this hand dead center, and quietly bring this coin out here, as I show, there's only 1 coin, right? And I cross like this, and I do a heel clip, right? That goes the heel clip. And then this lower hand, without any coin, comes up, grabs the coin, and goes, but if I take this coin and wave it over there like that, that one disappears as well.
Yeah.
That's very close to what John Carney does in his cylinder routine.
Yeah.
To get that vanish to go. But it works really well with this, and there's a little internal logic about it. If I've got 2 coins, I've only got 1 coin, And people like that stuff.
Yeah.
So now we're going to come over and pretend to take the coin here. This is the feint. This coin goes into the finger palm, and I shove this aside like this. I shove this aside so I can bring this coin in here like that, and I say, look, this last one, and I come up with nothing and grab these coins in a stack and move them from finger palm to sort of an edge grip. All right, so that's how you transfer these coins silently from here to here, as I pretend to tear the coin into little bits, right? And at some point during your tearing action, you're going to clip the stack between your index finger and your second finger and produce them into your other finger palm. So it's like producing all these coins at once, only I'm just going to do that. And it goes into my finger palm. You can do it like I just described as one motion, like a tearing motion. Or you can do it, if your angles are decent, you transfer like this, and you can show the audience that.
Ooh, that is gnarly.
if you've got all your fingers, big enough, and then you just take the stack and stick it in your finger palm. So it's like this, and then that, and then this hand takes these coins perpendicular to your hand, and so you can pick up this coin and apparently sprinkle the little bits on top of there, and then make this gesture like this, because you're going to suggest that the coins are going there, so you just want them to get that idea. It's as if the coin disappears.
Yeah.
And I say, but you're all magicians tonight. You all understand that coins don't disappear. They have to go somewhere. And tonight they're going there. And they start to think, no, there's no way you didn't get close to it, right? And the only thing that I don't understand is if the coins go in the top. See, this would be the most difficult coin to vanish.
Yeah.
Because you're following 5 others.
Yeah.
So let's not. You just drop it in here. And it falls right on top of the nut like that.
This is the most clever solution to that final coin problem that I've ever seen. It never occurred to me that you could pick that single coin up with the cylinder.
Yeah, right?
Really, and because of the height of your stack and that nut, it's just in the perfect place to be able to hide it.
I can tell you that it took a lot of searching. And if you're going to build this, it will take a lot of searching to get the right marker. Because a lighter marker, the coin will bounce off.
Yeah.
The coin won't go flat.
Yeah.
The marker and the coin will change places. I tried pieces of wood.
Yeah.
I tried dice.
Yeah.
I tried, none of them work.
Yeah.
A lot of times the coin will knock the item out of the way, and then you'll hear it hit the other coins. But this big metal nut with a flat top is the way to go.
Can I tell you the most irritating thing of that explanation that you just gave about the marker was that you did it while palming 5 coins, and I forgot that they were in your hand.
Yeah, well, that's because
Palm steel?
this is me walking around the house.
Yeah.
So
you drop the coin in the
in there,
cylinder.
right?
Yeah.
It goes on top of the nut, flat. You, through your experience, know where that is, and you pick up the cylinder and show them that. Now you're going to do a bottom palm steel with coins. And this just delights me. The coins are in finger palm. You got this coin here. This goes here. And the coin drops out. And then you just fold it up against, generally you fold it up against a stack like that. I'm happy to say normally there's enough response to cover any noise. Oops, sorry. So there it is there, and you go, look, there it is, and you drop that on the table.
That's great.
Okay, so now I've got them all here. All right, and this is sideways on the table, and that's important. Because what I'm going to do is to take the nut and do a simple pass like this, and I just put my thumb on it.
Yeah.
Right? And with the nut and finger palm, I pick up the tube, and I stick the nut in there and do that placement that I did before, only now it's on top of the stack, just like that. So that puts the nut back on top of the stack. So it's not ever going to appear there. It's just that that's where you need it. So it doesn't matter. Sometimes it ends up like this, but that's okay. So there it is there. And now we are, with the nut is supposed to be here, we have to change it into the coins. And I say, I can make the nut vanish and appear under the coins, which is the reverse of what they just saw, except that I don't have a wand. And what I'm doing is I'm moving this coin out into a heel clip position, so I don't have a wand. And this hand drops like this, and I just pick up the coin. I don't have a wand. If I had a wand, I could wave it over these coins. oh, this will work. And you wave it over here and just shove one coin off. And you make some noise with it. You drop these coins here like this. And you're just going to do a click pass, just a kind of a T. Nelson Downs jostle click pass like this. And then you're going to show them 4 coins as if there were 3. You're going to show them, oh, see, and then you're going to put your thumb on the bottom coin and just lift up. And so that's 3. They get it, right? They go 2 becomes 3.
Yeah.
You take these 2 and drop them on top of here and drop that last one. This is 5 coins, but you're going to show it as 4. Same deal. You put your thumb on the last coin, lever them up, and now it's 2 and 2. You're going to drop those 2 and 2, and you got to lever up, and there's 5 here. You're going to take these 2 and drop them on top of that one. And just as they've counted 5, now you're going to lift up the whole stack, and you've got 6. And that, let them fall, as gimmick coins do not, because you're not using them. And you'll pick up over here, and there's the nut. And you can do that as kind of a final gesture, and there you go. That usually gets you some applause.
Yeah.
But you don't want to finish the routine yet, because Victor Ferrelli, when he wrote up Cylinder and Coin, said, now we come to the most important part, and that should never be omitted, which is the cleaning up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was right, but I took that to heart.
Yeah.
So I take some applause at the end there, but I would tell them, wait, that's normally the ending, but tonight you're all magicians, and that's why this whole premise of looking behind the curtain and everything else. You know that there's one more step. They don't know that. You know that there's one more step, the cleaning up, and because you know that if after the trick, the part where the magician cleans up the props and packs up for the next show is where you might see an extra coin. And that's a reference to the sucker move, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe something in the cylinder. Or maybe that the coins don't actually stack up like they're supposed to. And that's where you cover you reinsert that into the cylinder. And one last time trying to be clean about this. One last time you get your third finger under there, just long enough to do this. You drop the nut on top. You take the front and back corners and hold them up like this. You take this one and put it behind, and this one and put it in front. And it's the closing line that makes this work. You say, if you can watch a magician perform a miracle and then pack up and still not know how the trick was done, which they don't, why then you'll know you've seen something magical. You've seen something special. And I hope you've seen something special tonight.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I really truly appreciate that, because that is a really special Cylinder and Coins.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's become a very special routine for me. I'm really happy with the way the audience has received it.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with the premise. But also the magic is really good. And Ramsey was onto something.
Yeah, it really was. Well, I think, unfortunately, that brings us to the close of our time together, doesn't it?
I think it does.
Is there anything else that you want to offer up here?
Oh, just other than everything else that we haven't talked about.
Well, please tell me that this won't be the last time you come back here, because this has been great.
Yeah, I'd love to. We've got all kinds of things to talk about, including card magic.
Absolutely.
Card magic.
Next time you come here, you got to do just one card trick. No, thank you so much, Curtis, for sharing this with us. Thank you all for being here in our audience. Thank you all for watching at home. On behalf of myself, Curtis, the entire Penguin Magic team, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a review down below, because that helps other magicians find the best magic for them. Thanks again for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.